This episode of the Giant Bombcast is brought to you in part by Squarespace, because it's time to turn your great idea into a reality, and Squarespace is the key to make it happen. Because Squarespace makes it easier than ever to launch your passion project. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Are you showcasing your work? Are you selling products of any kind? Squarespace is there for you, with beautiful templates and the ability to customize just about anything. That's right, you can easily make a beautiful website all by yourself. But if you do get stuck, Squarespace's 24/7 award-winning customer support is there to help. Head to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
What have you been putting in your water?
Nothing. I don't know.
Fire water, Jeff?
No,
You're not supposed to put soot in your water.
It smells sooty.
I don't care what you read on the internet.
You know what?
It's bad for you.
My wife's been lighting candles.
Activated charcoal is supposed to be good for
That
you.
could do it.
And I wonder if some of that, so that my water bottle has been sitting in the kitchen for
Oh, you're right.
months.
I've had beer with charcoal in it before. Now that you mention it,
Yeah, no.
As long as it's
charcoal-
activated.
Charcoal filtered, they always inactivated charcoal. Is that no good?
It's for the dogs.
All right.
But don't
My dogs
actually
love
give it to your
inactivated
dogs.
charcoal.
How
Yeah, that's
long,
right.
How long would you say since you washed that?
Washed?
Yeah.
that water bottle there.
Well, I got it for Christmas
Okay.
last year.
Okay.
Did you wash it before you used it the first time?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Have you ever washed that water bottle?
I don't.
You
I
should
mean,
at least like swab the water spout.
It's only been.
Yeah, you just washed the top. You at least.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely like. I mean, I drink water out of it. Water's clean. Water's clean stuff.
Yeah, but think about all the times you've had to put chapstick on, and then you've drank from that water.
Yeah,
bottle.
your saliva's all over that thing.
I don't really use chapstick.
Months
Yeah, unless
worth.
you've got a dog's mouth, then that's not going to do you any good, not washing that.
I know I've talked numerous times about the I can't remember the exact name of it, but the Double Fine documentary,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
the Broken Age thing they did for the Kickstarter. And throughout that entire thing, however many years that thing was in development, Tim Schafer is always using the same glass. And I could not stop wondering throughout that entire thing if he ever washes that thing.
Oh, I'm sure he gives it a good rinse.
I'm not trying to put Tim Schafer on blast here.
Or do you think he really uses that glass, or if that was just something he thought that would be really funny for this years-long documentary?
Maybe.
I'm just like, no, I'm going to make a point to always have this glass.
Man, he got me.
I mean, I have one nice glass. I have a lot of things to drink out of, but I have one
It's
like...
your pimp's chalice.
It's actually the Giant Bomb glass that I got when I started.
Yeah.
The high quality.
On it.
You didn't get one of those?
You got I didn't get one of those.
Anyway, so it's really nice. It's just really great, really nice.
I know a guy.
One of the pint glasses.
Might be able to hook you up.
Yeah.
Okay.
He sits like across from you, kind of.
Ben?
Kitty corner.
Oh, okay.
No, the other
He
corner.
might be able to
All right.
hook you up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's my one water glass, and it's
Here?
just
You mean in the office?
no at
Oh.
home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I drink 4 of them a day. You know,
Okay.
it's nice because I've got it like measured out.
Yeah. It's like it's a pint glass, so you know what's up.
But it's just the glass.
Store.giantbomb.com. You could see, I don't know if those glasses are currently in stock, but, you know, maybe there's something else you could use to measure water
Yeah,
there.
you could probably put water in a shirt.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
put water on a shirt all the time.
Just wring it out into your mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as you wash the shirt.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that washes the shirt. I mean, it's water.
Yeah.
So it's activated.
We're back here.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
It is-
It's Tuesday, October the 16th.
Okay.
It's Giant
If you
Bombcast.
say so.
Holy shit.
I'm Brad. You're Jeff.
It's that. Yes.
You're
I
Ben.
will.
Hi.
I'm Jan.
Jan down there at the end of the
Hello.
table.
I don't
Yeah.
know if it was one of
was
those
trying
where
to-
I had to introduce myself.
No, I was trying to think of something pithy to say, and nothing came to mind, and then you beat me to it.
Okay.
Congrats, Jan. He looked at you and nothing came to mind.
Fantastic.
I was trying to think of some way.
baffle people.
Yeah.
Trying to think of some way to work in all
Signal
all-
blocker.
all the
Yeah.
gear. but I wasn't fast enough on the draw. Speaking of gear, Jason is banging on stuff in the studio
That's right.
today. So we got a 4 banger.
Yeah,
What do you
that's
call
right.
this?
It's
The Quattro.
Squad. We have a quad
That's
here.
right.
We have a
We're
quad.
doing quads.
We're doing quads.
All right. I'll show off my quads.
How is that?
Delts. I like Black Ops 4.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, same.
came out on Friday.
Yes, it came out on Friday. I've been playing it since Friday.
I don't know if I like it or not because I can't stay alive long enough to decide.
Shoot better.
Man.
I'm in the same camp as you, Brad.
Yeah,
Yeah. I can't stay alive that long, but I think I like it.
it seems good.
Yeah.
How long? What was the last Call of Duty multiplayer you put a lot of time into?
Black Ops 3,
Okay.
when that came out for free earlier this year.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
you're fairly fresh.
Kind of fresh.
Yeah.
It's still terrible. It's just everyone's so mobile and they know how to slide well.
Yeah,
jump.
people.
This game is faster
Yeah.
than a lot of, especially like the default class that they give you before you've unlocked Create a Class has the lightweight perk on it.
Oh, okay.
So kind of out of the box, you're moving just a lot faster than a lot of the other games in the series. So
Which one is lightweight? Is that just general move faster?
it's like general move. You
'Cause I
move
noticed-
faster, you don't take any fall damage.
Okay, because I noticed there are multiple move faster perks for different things. Like some are like you can reload and move at full speed. And
Right,
and,
yeah. Like Gung Ho is like
Yeah.
you can reload while still moving and stuff
Right.
like that, yeah. Or I think you reload while sprinting, I think is
Yeah,
what
yeah,
that is.
yeah.
Yeah. It's this is probably the most fun I've had out of the box with a Call of Duty multiplayer, just the competitive multiplayer mode, probably since Advanced Warfare. I think World War II got there over time. With the DLC and the stuff that they did, and they added some character classes that were interesting and stuff in that DLC. But yeah, this is really solid. I still don't much care for like the hero character concept of like some of your traits are determined by what character you pick, and then you map a class of guns and perks onto that character, basically.
Brad, have you played the hero that's just Earthshaker?
No.
There's a dude who has basically a blink dagger, and his ult is
Oh, is that
Echo
the slam guy?
Yeah.
I read about that guy. I did not play him yet, but he sounded fun.
Holy shit.
Does it do more damage the more people that are around?
No,
Okay.
but he has
That
a
would be great.
grappling hook that's basically just like a force staff or a blink
Okay,
dagger.
okay.
I was freaking the fuck out when
Man.
I played him.
Yeah, I
the first
read that guy's description and I was like, that sounds like a fun pair of powers to have.
That's like kind of he and that dude, that Seamus looking motherfucker, became like the poster boy for the game because like that grappling hook is probably one of the most dynamic looking powers in the whole game.
I have only played in competitive Prophet so far because his little electric drone just immobilizes people, which
Yeah,
means I can actually have a chance of shooting a guy.
Nice.
But
Yeah, so they've got when they initially revealed the game and they had us play some of it, I was kind of rubbed the wrong way by some of the hero character stuff, which was also in Black Ops 3.
has it been in? I'm trying to remember. What is the?
It was just in Black Ops.
It was Black Ops 3, then
World War II.
no, Infinite Warfare, right?
Yeah, Infinite Warfare.
Then World War II. So has Black Ops still been the only one that's done the hero stuff?
Yeah, Infinite Warfare had like you picked some kind of division or faction or something, and then there were upgrades along that where if you picked the robot, then your special ability would be robot guns or whatever. you
Like
know?
this is the weird thing about having 3 studios making these games. Is like you have
Yeah,
to remember
that's
which
always
studio does
that's
what.
always been the case, and it was really maddening for a while with a lot of the movement stuff because like you would have things like, oh, can you do the dolphin dive? Like if I'm running and I hit crouch, or if I hit go prone by holding crouch, will he dive to prone? Can you dive to prone or not? That was the initial like really frustrating thing year to year is like, well, Treyarch likes this, and they also like fire because they have good fire tech, so their games always have a little bit of extra fire compared to the other ones, and it didn't feel like they were cohesively building on one another. It was something that EA used to run into in a slightly different way. Well, I guess not so much. Like when they were doing college sports games, like the college football game would always feel out of step with whatever the current year's Madden was because it was always based on the previous year's Madden.
Right.
And so you'd have this like very herky-jerky feeling of like, you know, different extremes in terms of how they balance the game, how they handle different things. And then, yeah, the move to 3 studios, I think, has exacerbated that in some ways. But also I think it matters a little less. I don't know. Like now that they're doing 3 of them, like you're 2 years away from some of those concepts. And also a lot of it has been homogenized to where non-Treyarch games will have a zombies mode in it. Sure. Shit like that. So yeah, back when they showed it to us, when they first kind of unveiled the game, it seemed like there was a hard limit of only one like character per side, like a Dota.
Yeah.
You can't have two of the same character. Now it looks like you can have exactly two of the same.
Okay, I was wondering
because you cannot have three.
Because it shows what your teammates are picking
right
at that start screen,
yeah.
but I wasn't sure.
And I've joined games where characters have been blacked out and I can't select them,
right?
Which is frustrating. Though usually it's the Seamus dude. It's the ground pound grapple hook, which is a fun combo, by the way.
Yeah.
Like grapple hook into ground pound is like a effective and cool looking thing when you pull it off.
Do the special abilities just cool down? Like just cool down? Like
yeah,
you don't
totally.
earn, like they don't recharge faster with kills.
I think
they
you
do
might,
because
yeah.
I feel like my teammates always have them before I do.
Right. I think you do earn like maybe the lesser ability I think might just be on a cooldown, but maybe the ult or the kind of L1 R1 thing I think will fill when you kill people.
I've been having
I'm not positive.
I've been having a decent amount of fun just bouncing around those different character classes because I'm coming to this game not having played a Call of Duty since Advanced Warfare 1.
I'm in the same boat.
And just having these kind of predefined characters with like, all right, every one in Call of Duty kind of plays the same ish.
Yep.
But these are characters that kind of have a defined game plan. Like, okay, the pyro dude is going to be better in like tight spaces and like, small areas where you can flamethrow people and you can use that AoE grenade.
Yeah.
You've got a recon dude where it's like, okay, I'm going to be playing a little further ahead of my team and scout people out. And that's just helping me kind of figure out the game as a whole, kind of the mechanics of the shooting and stuff with like a game plan in mind. Because I feel like before my problem with Call of Duty was I would just drop in, be worse than shooting at everyone else and therefore be bad on my team.
Right.
But now that I have kind of a game plan, I'm approaching the game a little bit slower and a little bit differently.
Well, it's the abilities, like you can kind of ignore them and just play it like it was regular ass Call of Duty.
Totally.
But yeah, you're right. If you can kind of build because you pick a character which then has the two abilities. Other than that, everyone's going to move the same and shoot the same and all that other stuff. It's just like you have your basic class ability and you have your major ability, your ultimate, whatever you want to call it.
Ults like maybe twice a game.
Yeah. And from there, you can decide if you want to build the rest of your class around it, where it's like, oh, well, if I'm going to be the recon dude who is shooting these sensor darts out, though usually you're not, there's not always a sense of being ahead of your team in Call of Duty because all the maps are so circular.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm walking around the edges and shooting everyone as I work my way to the middle and so on. So it becomes like, okay, I'm going to find a good choke point or where like the battle is taking place right now, and that's where I'm going to put that sensor dart because then the whole team can see on the
like if you're defending a control point or something and there's a funnel
in those
into
objective modes, absolutely. Yeah. Like that's where I think the abilities make a lot more sense, and I guess it makes sense that like the two new modes in this are both objective modes.
Yeah.
Because I think that plays to the strength of the like hero stuff a little bit better, and they might have. I don't know if they do or not. It might be a case where different modes have different limitations on hero stuff. Like they don't list that anywhere, but I wonder if there is anything or if they're going to have like a ranked or competitive rule set or something that's like, hey, one hero per side or something like that. But right now it seems like it's two. And then the rest of it, so you pick your character and then you get the two abilities that come with that. One of which you can actually ditch if you don't want it. You have to level up quite a bit to unlock like regular ass grenade. To replace so like if you don't like the grappling hook, you can replace it with a grenade eventually at like level 43 or something like that.
Why are you picking that guy if you don't like the grappling
Totally,
hook,
yeah. Like that's the thing. Like there are characters where I think like the guy with the shield, like the shield is pretty good, but I don't give a shit about concussion grenades. So that might be a case where like if I was playing that guy, maybe I would throw the grenade on it.
Yeah.
But I'd probably just play as somebody else. Yeah, so I think the loadout stuff is otherwise it's like the pick 10 system they've used where you're like, oh, I'm going to drop my second gun so that I can take more perks on my first gun or more attachments or whatever. And that stuff is pretty much like you look at those weapon loadouts and you're like, okay, you've got one assault rifle that has a faster fire rate but a lower damage and like the same types of trade-offs that these guns have traditionally had. Or not these guns, but that guns in classes in these games have always had. It's like, oh, this one's going to fire faster, This one's going to do different stuff. There's a new operator mod thing that I haven't unlocked yet, or I haven't tried out yet, that like certain guns will be like, oh, this shotgun, if you choose the operator mod card and all this other stuff, you can equip dragon breath on the shotgun, which I'm pretty sure is incendiary shells.
So this kind of leads me to my biggest problem with the game. And I don't know if it's specifically with this game or if it's been like this in the series before, but I have no idea what the fuck anything means.
Totally.
Like they don't explain anything.
I actually was going to ask what you guys think of the general structure of this thing, because I was kind of shocked how like, what's the word I'm looking, like kind of unceremonious it is the first time you start the game up. There's like no preamble, no introduction, no nothing.
Here's a menu,
just like
and
slam into this menu of, all right, here's a bunch of modes, like pick one and go.
And if you pick the bigger thing that just says control, it throws you right into a control game, and you're like, wait, what am I even doing?
Like, there's no there's no primer on like, here's when you'll get to make a class, here's what you should think about as you make a class.
Like I don't even think
here's why there's no campaign this year.
Right. I feel like normally, even if you go and hover over create a class before you've unlocked create a class, I want to say it normally says like unlocks at level 5.
It doesn't even do that.
I don't even think it says that.
I didn't know you unlock it until you said it.
Also,
20 minutes ago.
next to I think basically the big go button, there's a small button with like some sort of
that you'd think would be
sliders,
options, but it's private game.
So I didn't know
like
what that was
game.
because it doesn't annotate what that button is.
Right.
And when you click through that, you do get a create a class option right off the bat that does work.
Yeah, but
and I was like,
and everything's unlocked because it's custom game.
But it never it didn't say when I hovered over that button what it was. Like it's just like, I'm sure if people have been playing every Call of Duty every year, they are totally fine with all of this.
Right.
But
yes,
that is not me.
Because I clicked on that thinking it would be options for like, I want to turn the sound down or whatever. And when it got there, I was like, but I knew immediately what it was. I was like, oh, that's custom game. Okay, whatever. Back out of that shit.
Yeah, like if you're deep into the series, I'm sure all this stuff makes sense very quickly.
That's interesting. You're not wrong. Like that stuff, like it definitely dumps you in. It does. So I think the game does a really good job of tutorializing the hero abilities.
Yes. Those little mini missions.
Yeah, those mini missions are really good for like, hey, here's how and why you would want to use razor wire.
So where are those? Because
that's the specialist HQ.
Okay, because I just went
smaller thing off to the side.
Okay. Because I just went straight to multiplayer.
That's what passes for a campaign or like what is the single player story content, I guess.
I should have spent some time with that.
Boy.
They kind of, it's... Ugh.
Is that where you're seeing cutscenes for like characters from previous Black Ops?
Why these characters are in the Black Ops kind of is like you get little cutscenes for like I was a anarchist, and then one of the other anarchists thought I wasn't hardcore enough and he was going to shoot me because I didn't want to shoot a cop, and now I'm a
mercenary. Yeah. Yeah, that stuff's dreadful.
Some of it ranges from just like eye rolling to like really graphic and kind of.
I've seen people complaining about the level of gore.
The
pyro one was really rough for me. Of like a little kid lighting his dad on fire and then
That's just whatever, man. That happens everywhere.
Thought I read something about somebody like getting their jaw shot off.
Yeah, that's like in the intro
or something.
Yeah, that's in our quick look. By the way.
Wow.
So that's something. I feel like that's some weird tradition thing that they don't really need. But like when you first launch the game, it asks you, do you want to see graphic content, yes or no? And in past years, that's been like, oh, like a city gets nuked, and so...
Oh, is that the no Russian toggle?
Or
yeah. That like what spawned out of that?
Basically, yeah. Or it might even be like even before that when they nuked stuff in Modern Warfare 2.
Sure.
Anyway, that's become... I feel like something of a tradition of like, we've got this graphic content toggle, yes, no, and I feel like it's led to them, like this game, it feels the most rammed in of all of them, of just like, and I assume it's like stuff like, oh, this lady's jaw gets blown open and you see it, I assume it's stuff like that would get cut out if you turned that filter off. So you almost wonder like, because they know they have the filter, do they then feel the need to be like, well, we got to put something in here? Like, people are expecting some fucked up shit. This is Black Ops, baby.
Yeah,
it's just fucking weird.
Like, even Black Ops 1 had, like, torture scenes. And
totally,
like,
and
that broken glass.
Yeah, that was stuff that, you could toggle out if you didn't want to see it. And they offer that toggle, so whatever, but, like, I guess my point is, like, in a game with very little story anyway, that stuff, it just feels unearned and gratuitous, like, doubly so, because you're just like, fucking... I don't even know who the fuck these characters are. You've done nothing to set them up.
No.
This is completely pointless.
Does it feel like what would have been the campaign?
It does. So,
sort of, yeah.
So this is something that like so this game is set between Black Ops 2 and 3. That was always the thing they announced, and so that's how they get away from the wall running, and because a lot of these same characters were in Black Ops 3 doing all that shit. And so that's how they justified, like, oh, this is set before the events of Black Ops 3. We haven't invented wall running yet, or jet squirt booster, like the stuff that they had in Black Ops 3. So it's just the slide. It's just the ground slide, and then like the robot from Black Ops 3 isn't in it because he hasn't been invented yet, or whatever. So narratively, they set it between those two games, and there's a story gap there because Black Ops 2 is the conflict minerals one, or it's the one they talked a lot about conflict minerals in the lead up to it, but the actual game doesn't really delve into it as much as I wish it did.
But that's the one with all the branching paths.
Kind of
ambitious
and Menendez
stuff.
and all that. It's like go flashing back to Vietnam. It's all over the place. And it does a good job of tying the Cold War stuff of Black Ops 1 into this like futuristic Black Ops 2. Like they weave a really crazy story in that game that works pretty well for what it is. Black Ops 3 is then this totally separate thing of Christopher Maloney and cyber powers, and then whoops, the whole game took place inside your head while you were dying. This whole bizarre thing that when you work backwards through who are you and all this other stuff, you're like, oh, okay, all right. I guess that ties into the whole like thing with Reznov and their mind fuckery stuff that has become a hallmark of the series. But like Black Ops 3 went too far, I think, into that realm where you were just like, none of this means anything. This is all garbage because none of these characters matter. Like it didn't feel like it tied into Black Ops, the previous two Black Ops game in a meaningful way.
Not even Christopher Maloney could
redeem
it.
I love Christopher Maloney.
National treasure.
Absolutely. So this game feels like it is attempting to bridge the gap between those two stories, which is why I think that this was some stuff that maybe was originally built for a proper single-player campaign. Or maybe they would have done this separate campaign to try to... Because this feels like them sitting down and going like, okay, if we're going to have these named characters in multiplayer, we need to find a place for them in this universe. We need to figure out why they're here and why they matter. And so the first thing you do is you see like this descendant of Mason from Black Ops 1.
She's a lady.
She's a lady. She's the world's first trillionaire. Also, her sister is the one who gets her jaw blown open. So, like the granddaughters of Alex Mason, I don't know how far it actually goes.
I have to say, this stuff looks really good. Like these cutscenes are very gorgeous. Somebody likened them to Final Fantasy Spirits Within,
Sure,
which is oddly accurate. I would say.
Yeah. Actually, now that you say that, I'm like, there's maybe a little better than that in some ways.
Like
because
tech
some time has passed, but yeah.
Are the missions good in their own right?
The missions are tutorials for
they're
the
not
game.
even like...
No, it's multiplayer. It's not
walking you through.
It's Frank Woods.
God.
So okay, so Frank Woods, who fought in Vietnam and in Black Ops 2 was basically, I think it's like wheelchair bound. Basically, like you visit him at a hospital. Like you, the protagonist character, the son of Alex Mason, you go to see Frank Woods.
Is that the Gary Oldman character?
No, Reznov is Gary Oldman.
Okay.
He's the fucking badass Vietnam
he's the grizzled
dude. He's like,
old,
man, fucking I don't know who does his voice, but he was a really good character in Black Ops 1. Has some good stuff in Black Ops 2 as well, and then in this game he's a hologram. So like,
it's the worst.
It's the worst.
Okay.
It's the worst.
Okay.
But in a way that like this far removed, like this many years later, if you were writing a tutorial hologram for some fucking badass mercenaries.
Wait, is this the guy that says...
And so, yeah, it's literally fucking Vietnam War veteran Frank Woods appearing as he appeared in Vietnam. Young Frank Woods as a hologram in these cutscenes.
Listen here, fuckface. It's called a grappling hook. You hook, then you grapple. Got it? It's easy. Just go shoot him in the dick.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then so you don't see him outside of the cutscene, but he is the narrator through all these tutorials. So he's like, walk around these corners and fuck these guys up, shit on their fucking brains.
It's just Duke Nukem or something.
No, it's
He's like if Duke Nukem was in a room with a relative and he couldn't dial it. He can't dial it all the way back, but he needs to dial it back a little bit.
Okay.
so yeah, it's literally like, you know, a representation of young Frank Woods saying, "That's lit AF."
Yeah.
And you're like, fucking what the fuck? Okay.
Wow.
Okay, walk through this with me. This game is set in the far-flung future, but not the far-flung future.
It's like 10, 15, 20 even
well
years.
past what the expiration date for the term lit AF will be.
Yeah.
Will it have wrapped back around and be in again at that point? And why would you write a Vietnam era character? If you were writing this hologram, I'm saying in world. I'm not saying like the people at Treyarch that did this. I'm saying like
Jeff, this all would have been explained in the campaign,
I know,
but unfortunately,
it's left me with more questions than answers, unfortunately. And that's actually what the campaign or what these cutscenes do. So yeah, so it's a tutorial. You go in, Frank Woods yells at you about how to murder people. You get really good at it, and then like at the end, he's got some like, remember, you're the only. I got some real quiet shit I'm gonna say to you here at the end of this. Like you and me, we're gonna.
Don't let the voices in your
don't
head.
let the voices.
Listen, the only thing you can trust is your gun.
Who's in the box? You're in the box. I'm not in the box. We're in the box. We're in the box together, you and me. It's just like
I see a lot of myself in you.
Yeah, and so like a lot of it is written in ways that you're supposed to question. I guess you're supposed to question like the nature of this thing. But if you understand what Black Ops 3 was, and you understand the timeline involved, like there's intel. Some of this is going to be spoilery, I guess.
Well, I mean, before you get into that, I mean, so it sounds like people should not in any way come to this expecting like to get
totally
a mini campaign.
No,
out of it
no,
or
no,
anything
no,
like
no.
that.
So yeah, so
Like it doesn't sound like there's much to
basically
spoil.
It's a
handful
tutorial
of
for each
tutorials.
character. So
Yeah.
what it does is it drops you into a multiplayer map, and then Frank Woods barks orders at you as you get to play each character, use their abilities, understand why they work, what they do, all this sort of stuff. Maybe use a couple of score streaks to get used to like, oh, here's how you launch missiles onto the playfield when you earn it, and it's really good.
And then you play like a multiplayer.
Then after you finish the tutorial, it's like, okay, now use this character to play with bots
in a control map
in
or
a
something.
control or
and
team
that's really
deathmatch
helpful for me going through those and like learning those modes before I just hop into the online. And
they've got little videos that set up the multiplayer modes. So if you don't know what control is, or search, it's kill confirmed. Like that stuff's in there, and it's really well done.
Man, I wish the game just like the first time you launched it had just like a text pop up saying like, "Hey, you should go check out the specialist missions before you go straight to these giant icons
It does
that want
have
you to go
some
online."
kind of pop up that's like "Welcome to Black Ops 4." But
maybe it does say something, and I just button past it without.
Yeah,
paying
like
attention,
on
but-
first launch, it does have a few things before you get into some of those menus that says like, "Here's what this is," but it's not great.
Yeah. More to the point, just the way the menu is presented. It's like
it's this tiny square in the corner.
Right.
multiplayer, zombies, blackout, huge.
Yeah.
And then these tiny menu options on the
Theater
side.
mode.
But not even
yeah.
multiplayer, blackout, zombies huge. It's like the specific
Or
weird
yeah,
mode.
it's
control,
actually control,
quads,
quads and
nine.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, is that the name of a mission? What?
Yeah. That stuff is even as someone who knew basically what was in this game, more or less, that was still a weird menu to get into.
So how have you been splitting your time between like just straight up multiplayer and blackout?
I'll play like a few matches of regular multiplayer and then play some blackout for a while and kind of go back and forth.
How you liking blackout?
I like it. I won yesterday.
Nice.
Solos. I hid in a bathroom
Yeah,
for a good chunk of time.
My first match, I found some rafters and just laid down up there until there were less than 15 people left.
Yeah,
and then I
nice.
emerged
Yeah.
to make sure I got my merits.
I got one kill, but it was the one kill that counted because it was the kill that let me win. So
What does it say when you win?
victory. It's just like a number one victory.
Come on.
Yeah, it's nothing fancy. And you get a different inspirational quote instead of one about the futility of war. It's like, we fucking
War rules,
yeah,
dude.
it's
Fuck
badass.
yeah.
Murdered all.
Did you look at that gun?
It's good guns. I've been doing that, but it's just finish the campaign or the cutscene stuff. It feels like someone sat down and maybe realized they weren't going to be able to write a complete thought of a campaign, and instead just filled it full of bad questions with potentially even dumber answers. Like over the course of it, it's just kind of like it's little bits and pieces of these mercenaries being hired to work for this trillionaire descendant of Mason. And at the end of it, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that it pretty directly ties into, like I said, pretty directly tries to merge the fucking takes place inside your head bullshit of Black Ops 3 and the Mason stuff of 1 and 2, and it does it in some of the dumbest ways or some of the least interesting ways they could have gone with it.
So by the time you wrap up all the specialist stuff, have they wrapped up that
So
storyline such as it is? Or I mean, I guess what I'm asking
Sure.
is, are there any other
No.
vehicles for story in the game? Like
No.
you're never going to get any other answers anywhere else, right?
So there's the cutscenes you'll get by completing all the first round of tutorial missions. When you complete all 10 of them on the easiest difficulty, you will see all of the quote unquote like story cutscenes, and that doesn't really conclude so much as it just stops with something that you're like, oh, okay, that guy's here. But I don't know if any of this is real. I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's not. I don't think any of that's real, actually. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that any of this is real.
And then it ends anyway.
Because it's
right?
Black Ops 3. Because of what they did in Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Like, you just look at it and go like, all right, well, whatever. Like, this is fucking stupid. And then there's a bunch of intel audio log type stuff that you can unlock for performing certain tasks while completing those missions. So you can go back and do them again on regular difficulty and then on veteran difficulty. So there's like 3 difficulties for each one of these challenges. And if you're like, oh, I got 15 kills straight in one of them, that'll unlock an intel. Or like, oh, I got 10 melee kills, that'll unlock one. And I unlocked 3 of them without thinking about it, without trying, and went and listened to the first one of those. And it was, it like makes me, again, think that none of it is real. And B, it is incredibly stupid. So I don't think I'm going to go back and get the rest of that intel.
Okay.
Someone else can do that and post those audio logs online, and maybe I'll listen to them and just go, huh, yeah, all right, sure. But anyway, yeah, don't go into this thing expecting story because there's not a lot of it, and what is there is actually pretty bad. If this was the direction they were going in with a full campaign, they were right to kill it.
Huh. Wow. Okay.
Because the bits and like if that's the tone they were going for and that's the thing that they were looking to do, it seems super bad. I feel like they would be the right move would be to never ever acknowledge any story elements of Black Ops 3 ever again because it was. But at this point, like I think the whole thing is done.
Yeah.
Like the Mason stuff, like it's. Unless you're going to go back and tell like more stories of the Cold War and like do a game that's set in that era, I don't think like bringing those characters further and further forward in time does anything for their overall story.
I mean, Treyarch hasn't taken a break from Black Ops since they started it, have they?
No, they haven't.
It's like,
Yeah.
So I would think maybe their next one is not going to be a Black Ops thing.
You wonder.
Seems like it's time.
But like when I think about 3, like 3 barely felt like a Black Ops game in the campaign stuff.
But I
because
mean,
it was different characters, different setting, like barely attached to this other
No,
stuff.
I mean just rip the Band-Aid off and just come up with a new property.
You can't rip the Band-Aid off if the Black Ops name is selling the copies of the game. Like I feel like we maybe, I could be misremembering, but I want to say that game maybe wasn't called Black Ops 3 at a point, or there was talk back then that like, oh well, the Black Ops story is over. And then you were like, oh, I guess it's Black Ops 3.
Huh.
And then around that same time, you were like, oh, I guess it's Modern Warfare 3. I guess we're wrapping up this trilogy. You're like, I can't believe they're making a Modern Warfare 3, but here we are.
Just pure marketing at this point.
Sure.
Yeah.
So then, like, it's the next game just going to be Modern Warfare 4? Are they just going to do
Why
it?
not?
Like, why not?
Why
Like,
not?
Those are 2 words that still mean something somewhere, right?
Why not?
So,
Somebody would get excited when they heard that.
I mean, they're not going to make Ghosts 2.
Yeah.
They're not going to make Infinite Warfare 2. That game got a bad rap.
What about World War II 2?
There you go. That'll be the year after that.
Okay.
That'll be back when it's with Sledgehammer again. So anyway, yeah, whatever. The story stuff is clearly not why people are here. Otherwise, they would have kept it in the game. I think the Battle Royale mode is good.
Yeah.
I am having a really good time with it. You get so much stuff, like so many healing items.
Yeah.
Like the pace of combat is really different than a lot of other games because it feels like you can always back off and just heal back up to full.
Yeah.
Because you've got 10 Band-Aids and 5 of the mid-tier health packs.
You can back up, heal up to full, and then like the thing I was not expecting going in, I didn't play the beta, were the power-ups.
Oh,
the
sure.
like timed stuff of just like, you know, footsteps are louder, or what are some other ones you can?
Skulking, like you can move at full speed when crouched.
The brawler one
Uh-huh.
is fucking incredible. If you can get in close on someone, you're literally unkillable
Wow.
because it's like you do something like 3 times damage with melee, and every time you melee, you heal 50 HP.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I did not realize. I
So
don't
if
know
you
that I
can
read
get
the
in
stats
on
that.
somebody,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just do not lose a fight. Even
Are you
if they have
talking
a gun.
weapon melee, or you have to go to fists?
You can't go to fists. It's weapon melee.
weapon melee.
Yeah. Once you pick up 2 weapons, well, I guess
you
you could
can't.
drop the guns, but yeah.
Like I just didn't have a gun. A dude had a pistol. He shot me down to like 15, and then I would just beat him to death.
Jeez.
And
yeah.
I really like this mode. It's that kind of middle point between Fortnite and PUBG that I've kind of been looking for, where it has kind of the weapon realism of a PUBG, but it's not all about just like, I mean, you can very much approach it like a ballistics kind of like, I'm going to sit on top of this hill and keep an eye out on the world and just, take my shot, aim at my stuff.
I got a couple of pretty good sniper kills.
Yeah.
That felt like pretty good, like good range. I was like, oh man, this is like I'm shooting for real.
But you can also totally approach it in the like, the way I like to play Fortnite, which is just like shotgun out, running around a town full speed, just kind of like getting in the shit.
Have you had, so I've been fighting at range because like I don't even pick up, like if I'm barehanded, sometimes I won't even pick up a shotgun if I see it, because I just haven't had any luck with them at all.
So I'm
it
primarily,
seems like the average range of engagement is like SMG to assault rifle range.
Yeah, I've been primarily dropping in Rivertown, which is kind of probably like I'd say the tightest.
Yeah,
one of the tightest areas in terms of like houses and stuff.
It's pretty much that in firing range, or like that's the school.
Yeah, or you know what the school is? The school is half of the plane dropping into the ocean before it's even over the map. Because people don't know. A lot of Call of Duty fans don't know how to play a battle royale. It seems.
Well, I don't know, man, because
they just want to get it spicy.
You drop with that wingsuit, and like, are they straight up dropping straight down? Do you know?
I don't know, but
because you can get maybe like 2/3 the way across that map with that wingsuit.
Sure,
so
but
you can drop out at first moment and get just about anywhere.
But by the time you hit, I'm sure there's plenty of people who are like strategically choosing where they go.
Yeah.
But literally half the helicopters are empty by the time you're over land in that game, which
definitely.
is insane
like
to me.
The alarm goes off and you just see bodies dropping out of these helicopters over and over again. You're like, where the fuck are you people going? Like, it wasn't until I realized like, oh, you can really cover ground on that wingsuit.
Also, I really like that there's just like kind of weird hidden stuff on the map.
Yeah.
I found one in the fracking tower where there's a big kind of metal looking flat door on the flat on the ground, like a big, sliding open door thing. And there's like a wire leading out of it. I traced it back to a building, found a button, hit that button, went down there. There was a chest with like a fully loaded out gun that had like all attachments and stuff. It had, some trauma kits and stuff just in there. And I tried it on another round and it was still there.
Wow.
So there's just like
some kind of hotspots.
Hotspots. Yeah.
That's cool.
There's like the zombie chests, which are weird.
Yeah, the zombie stuff. The presence of zombies in that game is a strange one.
Oh, I forgot about that. But that's only if you get caught outside the circle, right?
No.
There's some areas.
Like the asylum is full of zombies.
Oh.
And there's another. I don't know if it moves around. But
there's
a moving one. But like sometimes it'll be like, oh, there's a diner here that's just full of fucking zombies.
Is there any benefit to killing them, or they're just
they
just
drop
a hazard?
stuff? So they'll drop health items when you kill them. There's a few guns that are only in zombie areas that are like from the zombies mode, and. So there's like so you have to unlock characters by completing tasks in that mode, which is I thought I was going to unlock the multiplayer, the competitive multiplayer characters by completing their missions in that specialist thing, but no, it is not that at all. I guess there's only maybe like 4 of the missions are active in the game right now, because if you hover over them, it's the difference between unlock Ajax by completing his character mission in game. And then the other ones say character mission not available. So I think the ones that say completing in game, those are technically in there. And I think the one for Ajax is, I've seen a few of these and didn't pick them up, but sometimes you'll kill a guy, go to loot his body or loot the box that pops out. You'll see something called like destroyed armor piece, or it's some kind of like piece of armor. You need to get 3 of those and then finish the match. I don't think you need to win. I don't know. But if you finish the match with 3 of those in your inventory, you will unlock him.
Okay.
So it's like and so there'll be like specific items of like, oh, in his little tutorial thing, the fire guy has a little doll. I think you literally find that doll.
Oh, okay.
And so you like, oh, I need to find that doll. While I have that doll, I need to get a Molotov kill with fire.
Those sound like Destiny quests to get weapons.
Yeah.
Like that's interesting.
It's bizarre and frustrating because like I feel like the character customization options in that mode are basically non-existent.
Yeah.
Or are they more than just cosmetic?
There are no cosmetics. There's like
Well, but I mean, you can create a character.
yeah, but there are like four. You
It's male,
pick,
female,
it's male,
and one
female,
of four
four
faces.
heads.
Yeah,
per.
yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's the named characters, and also so there are some characters that are all wearing like helmets and stuff that you'll unlock when you get to like level 20, level 40, and the leveling in that game is not super fast. But then the rest of them appear to all be through this character mission stuff. But there's no customization in terms of like I want to wear a different hat. I want to wear a different colored armor. Like there's nothing like that. Yeah. So there was some piece of text that was posted in some backwater section on an Activision site talking about stuff that sounded like a battle pass type equivalent of like, oh, you'll play to unlock gear, and if you bought the season pass, you will skip the first 10 levels. So it seems like they will get there with it. I mean, obviously they'd have to.
I can't wait to see what kind of skin deals they can get. Like
I like a nice skin deal.
Fortnite had John Wick. Who do you want to see in Call of Duty?
Did they really get John Wick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think there are more characters from those games that they could put in.
Okay.
But also
Big.
Ice Cube.
Hell
Yeah.
Who played a
Hell
character
yeah.
in Black, but I want to see Ice Cube.
Like modern. He's just. I
wanna see-
his character portrait. He's on Twitter.
Right.
That's Ice-T.
Yeah, that's Ice-T. I want to see every celebrity that was in that commercial.
Oh, the like one with Fallon and all them. Yeah.
I want to see all of them in there
Okay.
because why not?
Just a whole mode. That's the celeb match. Celebrity death match. You can call it. That's not taken.
That's not taken. Yeah, you could just use that. Eminem, he's provided end credit music. Why not put him in there?
God,
He was in
yeah.
Quake 3.
It's true.
The record label put out that.
Machine Gun.
Did that
Kelly's going to be in there,
Sure.
and not
Yeah,
Eminem.
that's
was that
right.
Was that thing like on the CD? How did they distribute that?
That
Model.
You downloaded it from the website.
okay.
I don't think it
Okay.
was. I don't.
I thought it'd be cool if it was like
It was
on the album.
That'd be kind of neat. But it was like what it was like. It was Eminem. It was Dre, and then a map that played a clip of one of the songs in some of the maps.
So weird.
I played on that map like last year. There was some server running it, which was great.
I really like the vehicle stuff in that mode.
Yeah.
They all feel really good. I was playing yesterday with Kessler, and we just randomly found a helicopter. We didn't even know they're in the game, and we're like, can't fly that, can you? Sure enough, we just got in the helicopter, got up. We're just like,
Jeez.
We're like, yeah, fucking PUBG doesn't have this in this game. And then all of a sudden we hear like beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep, 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 beep.
Yep.
And somebody just shot us down with a fucking missile.
Yep.
And it was great.
The rocket launchers in that thing are weird.
Yeah, they are.
For like person-to-person fighting, there's like no splash damage on them.
Yeah, they're not. They're
I guess they're-
typically
they're
not meant to be used.
they're
anti-vehicle.
anti-vehicle.
Yeah,
Like
like they'll lock on. To vehicles.
Like my second game, I found a rocket launcher in a gas station. I was like, fucking, all right, I'm going to kill as many people as I have rockets with this thing,
no,
of course.
But like the slow process of holding it up and shooting it, it's always been that way.
Well, the bigger thing is I shot it like right at the guy's feet.
Oh,
like
yeah.
3 feet in front of him, and he took like no damage.
Well, maybe
and
he
then
had
just
good
killed
armor.
me. Possibly.
Yeah.
But
So I tried.
Armor is a huge difference maker in that game. Like I feel like armor
Yeah.
can take a lot of hits.
Totally. They got 3 levels of armor. I guess only level 3 protects your head. And yeah, there's definitely some fights where I was like, oh, I eked that out because I had level 2 and he had level 1.
Yeah.
And little shit like that. I tried to crash a helicopter into a dude yesterday,
Oh yeah.
and it didn't work. But I'm pretty sure you could do it. Also, it's confusing enough that you might be able to get a kill out of it anyway. So I was just like, I landed a helicopter on a roof. This is on the site. I streamed it yesterday and put it up. And it's just dumb. It did not go my way at all, but it was fun. I was on the roof of this big building. I had landed a helicopter there. Normally, I don't think you'd be able to get up on that roof. I'm not sure. But, I was just like, got prone on the corner of a roof, saw a guy running, just took a few dumb shots at him from way too long. I'm like, I'm going to let this guy know I'm here. Ha ha. And then ran off and healed because he hit me. I almost hit him, I think. I'm like, well, I got to get off this rooftop now. So I got in the helicopter and just kind of flew around him. He was shooting up at me. I was like, wonder if I could just try to, because he was hiding. There was the spot on a big rig between the cab and
Okay.
the trailer.
Yeah.
He was standing in that, and he hopped out of it, and I was like, I'm gonna try to crash this helicopter into this dude and jump out. So I got the helicopter, jump out. You immediately go into the wingsuit when you jump out, so you can do it. And then I landed, and he was still alive, probably looking at the fucking helicopter. And if I had been like a better shot, I think I could have done it, and that would have been kick ass.
Yeah.
Instead, he killed me, but it was totally worth it. Because now I'm obsessed with doing that. Because like I'm playing solos most of the time. Helicopters are useless because you can't shoot out of them. I thought maybe if I hover here, I can get into one of the side seats and shoot from up here. But as soon as you get out of the driver's seat, it just starts spinning to the ground.
How does it work
Makes
with
sense.
How does it work with a passenger?
You can have somebody in the back shooting.
Do they?
There are
kinda
4 seats.
Lock. They lock to like a seat.
Yeah.
Like, you can't move.
No,
and,
no,
like,
no.
walk around in there.
Yeah.
You
But
can
like with
like
the trucks,
the trucks, yeah.
you can get into the bed of a truck and just hide in the back of it. And
or on top of a truck, which
sure, yeah.
and you drive and it doesn't the pressure or the physics don't
But like
work.
the ATV has 2 seats, so you can get on that too. And yeah, it's
really fun.
It's really fun. It makes you think
Yeah.
about the nature of this mode, and again, it's hard to it's hard to parse some of the stories we've heard coming out of the development of this game and know them to be 100% true. But if you believe what's been floating around out there, this was something that came together relatively quickly, not necessarily something they planned for 3 years.
Sure.
Which obviously, with the popularity of Fortnite and Battlegrounds and stuff like that, they wouldn't have probably had this idea from day one.
I mean, Battlegrounds has only been out for a year and a half.
Exactly. So it seems like something that, maybe once the supposed campaign transitioned into a non-campaign, they were like, well, now this thing has to get ready in a hurry. And parts of it, like the leveling and the customization or lack thereof, there are elements around the edges of it that you look at and go, this seems like something where they were very focused on, can we make this work? And we'll pretty it up later.
Yeah.
But like Call of Duty, the movement, the shooting, all that stuff is already time tested.
Yeah.
And dropping that into this mode works surprisingly well.
Yeah,
I
totally.
would have thought it would have been way clunkier than it is, and it would have just not felt right. But it's kind of awesome, and it's kind of awesome in a way that makes you think like, oh, this is terrible. It makes me think slightly less of other games in the genre because I'm like, this doesn't seem as hard as maybe if you put a huge team like Treyarch and give them Activision money on it. I guess maybe that's an unfair comparison. But like something that in some ways feels like it came in probably kind of hot.
Yeah.
It's still really fucking good. Maybe that just speaks to this mode being a cool idea that is fun. But the stuff they did around inventory management, I think, is really solid there too.
Yeah,
Like,
the quick menu is
it's
really
it's
good.
great
really
stuff.
Smart.
Like for playing this type of game on a console, like they found the right way to make inventory management easy.
Yeah, the quick equip on
Yeah.
scopes and stuff. Like, there's so many little
Even
quality of life
Even
things.
seeing an icon of what something is floating above it from a distance.
Have you guys had an issue where stuff doesn't pop in right when you land?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
That's like you run in that first building after you land, and you'll see the icons saying, "Hey, there's something to pick up here," but the actual art has not appeared yet.
Yeah, so you have to be like right over it.
I feel like the map kind of pops in
That's
a
some
little bit
high
too when
pressure
you're
shit.
dropping.
Like if you're dropping in somewhere hot
Right.
and you just
Yeah,
are like
that's,
kind of blindly looking around to try and find a gun.
That's definitely a problem.
So I wanted to come in here and complain about the thin progression in Blackout, but now you're actually making me wonder if there's anything to progress.
Yeah, like when you hit level 20, you'll unlock a character, but like there's nothing.
there's no abilities, so maybe I shouldn't care about progression in that mode to begin with. Like basically the problem is that unless you do anything super meaningful in a match, you get nothing.
I want to play as Frank Woods. That's all.
Yeah.
If there is a battle pass like system, that's when the progression.
You think that's when there will be a bunch of stuff to do to
It really feels like that. That's why I say it. Part of this stuff feels like it was. It came in a little hot.
It seems crazy to me that they don't give you like say 5 points just for finishing.
Yeah.
For playing a
yeah,
match.
that's
like not like it can be a negligible amount, but just to see something pop at the end of the match.
Well, I want to see the bar move.
Yeah, totally.
Think about it like this: Call of Duty 4 is the game that pioneered the idea of you got something no matter what.
Yeah.
And
that's everything
And that's
now.
everything. And the other two modes in this game absolutely behave that
Yeah,
way. And
totally.
this one feels weird when you get out of a match and it's like, you didn't finish top 15 or kill anyone, you get jack shit.
Yeah.
That seems like something. It seems like something they should overhaul. I mean,
Totally.
like on one hand, I'm like, oh well, Yeah, I like the idea of like I got to do something to earn something, I guess, but it flies in the face of everything that series has stood for.
Yeah.
And then there's other stuff where they have moved in that other direction, that Overwatch style direction of like, hey, KDR is not everything. We're revamping the scoreboards and what we show you. You can dig in and find this stuff, but it's less important. They've definitely like softened some of their stats edge. They've retooled what they present. All the stats are still there, but but they've done it in a way that like de-emphasizes the scoreboard, the how did you do on your team. Like I don't even think they do show at one point, but it's sorted by score instead of kills.
Right.
And they've done this a few different ways over the years, obviously, but
and
not
score is
necessarily the first
an
time.
arbitrary roll up of everything
score
you've
is
done.
and score is stuff where it's like if you're the dude who throws out the bag with the ammo packs in it and people use your ammo packs to get kills, you get points.
Yeah.
Or like if you have a UAV going.
Right, yeah. Any kill that happens while you have a UAV out, you're going to get a little bit for it. Or if you're the recon guy and people are in your sensor dart range when they get killed, you get points for that.
That stuff tends to, for me, like really fuzzy up your sense of your own performance. Like
that's the idea.
Destiny does this, and I think Overwatch does it a lot too. Of just like if you like damage somebody at all, and then somebody else kills them, you still get a pop up as if you
as
had
an
killed
elimination.
them. Yeah,
they don't even call them kills. It's just like eliminations.
Right.
Yeah, and then and you get the full 100 points for that you would get for shooting them yourself in Call of Duty, and it tells you how much damage you did on that player. Like you're like, oh, you did 87 damage to him.
So in light of all of that, the Blackout progression just seems even more bizarre to me.
It feels like something that happened, like it feels like something that a Skunkworks team worked on and then suddenly it became unfucking skunked.
Yeah.
And they're like, this has to ship day one.
This has to go in here.
And it just, there are bits around the edges that I think that they need to get to.
Yeah.
I think they will, like whatever.
Yeah.
It's
clearly. Like that disparity in like the cadence of the progression between like multiplayer and Blackout, and just like the way that the menu is just like, here's these buckets with no relation to each other.
And I wish that stuff was attached a little more. Like you're leveling up and unlocking stuff in regular multiplayer that doesn't factor into the other thing. You're playing zombies and unlocking stuff there that could theoretically, because those characters show up there.
There should be an account level.
Yeah, so this got me thinking, and I promise this is not just an excuse to talk about Destiny again, but it made me think about what function the character in that game serves. Like if you set aside like the story stuff they try to do and whatever like sense of identity they try to build around your character, like abstracted out, what that thing is just a common receptacle for progression from every activity in that game, all to roll up into one place.
Yeah.
Like anything you get from Crucible, from Gambit, from Strikes, from anything, all goes to the same place.
Right.
Whereas this, it's like different levels for different modes. Like they don't touch each other. They don't talk to each other.
Sometimes you're playing a named character. Sometimes you're playing a generic dude.
Like I wish there was like an umbrella, like you said, like an account level thing that everything would go back up to. Because sometimes I want to play, well, theoretically, maybe I would like to play zombies sometimes. Sometimes you want to play Black, like it would just be nice to feel like everything was unified in an intelligent way.
Yeah. Like, hey, I unlocked this, not that great face paint over here in competitive multiplayer, and now I want to bring it into this mode. Oops, you can't go in there and try and find this doll and hopefully get some kills. Like it's disjointed.
Yeah.
And it's not into the world stuff.
No, it's not. It's not. It just feels a little outdated.
Yeah, it feels messy.
Yeah.
Like for a game that has traditionally been a little bit better about, having everything roll up in meaningful ways. Though they have separated the zombies and the regular multiplayer leveling and all that other stuff for years. That's not new.
Well,
I think they could do better.
Yeah, maybe it's time for that to for a rethink.
I played zombies.
Yes,
they have a tutorial there that I think is pretty good.
I fell asleep during the tutorial
like
of zombies. I literally fell asleep during the tutorial of zombies. I've never played a zombies mode.
What time
this
of
is my
day?
First
to be fair,
afternoon. But I had gotten very little sleep. It was around like the time I would take a nap if I was like a nice lazy Sunday. Had nothing to do, and there was just something about the like blue whooshing stuff around the chests, and I don't know what it was, but I felt my eyelids get.
I almost dozed off while I was playing a regular multiplayer match actually last night.
I don't hate it. For the record, I do want to try more zombies.
Yeah, I'd be down to try.
I think I just don't like the writing, and there's stuff like, so the tutorial does a good job of saying like, hey, go to this machine and, you will upgrade a gun. Go to this box and you can pay money to get a gun out of it. Stuff that is pretty easy to learn along the way. It's the other stuff about like, oh, if you melee attack this banner, then you take on a challenge, and then if you complete the challenges, then this offering appears, but then if you melee the offering to turn it down a couple of times, then there's 9 more things you can do and eventually unlock this ultimate gun. Like, there's a ton of weird shit in there.
In that one match or forever?
In that one match.
Oh, what?
And so, well, I don't know. I didn't finish it. I didn't, because the game crashed.
I saw it crash on your stream also.
Yeah. I was trying to watch a game film, and it crashed doing that. But then, so I got to like level 45 in a beginner's match of zombies, and it crashed. Which was like merciful in some ways because beginners is it's an easier version. So I don't know
Was
if
that an actual online match?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I think you have to be under level 20 to play beginners. Though I did see a level 22 player in there. I'm not sure how that works. But anyway,
He just looks young.
So yeah. Always asking for his ID. So I figured I would start there, and jump into the beginners mode and play one. And we're opening. So if you haven't played it before, you start in a pretty tight area. Zombies come at you in waves. You fight them off. You get a brief respite. More zombies come. In this case, they're gladiator zombies. You're in a gladiatorial arena. And you earn points for all the kills you get. And you can also barricade some of the ways they get in, which will get you some points as well. And then you spend those points to open doors to move deeper into the map. And then there are also basically vending machines. And they were literally vending machines in some of the previous ones. And in this one, it's like altars. And so there are like 4 perks that you choose per character on your loadout that you have to spend points to earn. You set them before you start the match. It's part of your character class, your loadout. And then you find the machine that will spew out these items. You pay the points, and then it's like, okay, now I have more stamina, as I so chose. But because I got to the machine, spent the points, now I have better stamina. Until I die and lose it or whatever. And so there's that. There are guns on the wall that you can spend points to get those guns. There's a pack-a-punch place where you can go and put a gun in it, and it'll come back out with increased damage and a new skin that makes it all glowy. You can put it back in, and it'll have an ability that procs. Like I had one called Brain Rot that was like occasionally a zombie would turn and fight the other zombies. And it just basically doesn't stop. Also, so along the way, the other players, I don't know if they had seen, they must have found something I didn't or whatever. They built a shield. And there's a workbench down there, and you find parts and bring it to the workbench, and eventually you can build a sword and shield that actually works a lot like the competitive multiplayer shield, where you can hide in front of it and put the sword through a slot in it and shoot out of it. The sword will shoot.
Wait, so it's a gunblade.
What?
It's a gunblade.
What?
Does it only work if you have all your hearts?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that caused another meter. The shield appeared on my HUD with a meter below it. That it was presumably a like strength of the shield meter, because you could go back to the workbench and pay some money to repair your shield. But okay, so the sword on the shield kills almost every regular enemy in 1 or 2 hits. The bigger enemies were maybe 3 or 4. The biggest enemies I faced was maybe 5 or 6. The shield also blocked all incoming damage that I took from the front. And also, the meter on the shield didn't drop. So one player dropped out. So it was 3 instead of 4 players with these shields just not getting fucking touched until we got bored. Like I wasn't talking to these players, but occasionally it was like, well, I've got 150,000 points. I'm going to go just pop this random gun machine over and over again to see if anything fun comes out of it, because I've got too much money there's no point. And so it's just all of us standing around just taking turns opening this fucking gun box over and over again to see if anything cool comes out. And the wave would start, and you kill all the zombies, and another wave would start, and you kill all the and it's just
so
like
saying beginner maybe a little too forgiving.
So maybe it was just a beginner thing, or maybe there's a bug with that shield, because occasionally the shield would break. And I didn't know why. It was like, oh, I don't have the shield anymore, and then I would die because then you're taking damage from the front. They swarm you.
Yeah.
You go down pretty fast. But it was just bizarre. It was like it felt like something that needed to just end. And like, hey, congratulations, you completed the beginner's mode. Now try it for real, because otherwise you're going to stand here and do this forever. And what the fuck are you even doing?
Yeah.
And So we got up to like wave 45, 47, something like that, which was way more than I wanted to play. But I was like, I want to see how this goes. Like, is it going to ramp up to a point where it actually gets hard, or what the fuck's going to happen? And then the game just crashed. So whatever. I kept my level, thankfully, so now I'm like level 17. And that's, yeah, you know, I don't know. Like, yeah, I didn't have a great time with it. It just, yeah, the character quips are super lame. And
the writing in this
the writing is, yeah. I feel like the writing and the lore around the zombie stuff has always been extra dumb. But I'm not one for zombie fiction to begin with, so I guess like I'm already kind of predisposed to think it's pretty lame, but this seems double lame on top of that. I
would give that a shot.
Yeah,
that sounds all right. I like co-op versus environment.
Yeah, it reminded me of Strange Brigade, which very obviously was them trying to make a zombie thing, probably.
Sure, yeah.
Jan, where do you land on stuff like that?
I enjoy horde modes, but from what I've played of zombie mode in the past, it's a little bit too different. I have to be on top of so many different little systems of the randomness of like, oh, okay, maybe I'll get a cool gun out of the box, and then just listening to the whole shield talk, I'm just very confused if this is still Call of Duty.
It's
zombies has always been like a little off kilter from the
totally
main.
They should have.
It's very off brand.
They should have done it. They should have split it off.
They should have.
Give it the attention it needs.
The people that like zombies should get their own game.
Yeah,
and
like a full campaign style game.
I don't know.
Well, so I guess this is, to hear them tell it, this is the most zombies content they've ever launched with on launch day. So, you know, they're putting way more into the zombie stuff. And I've heard mixed things. Some people seem excited. Well, I don't know. I've heard mixed things about the whole game. But that's every year. You know, there's some people like, this is the worst competitive multiplayer's ever been. These are the worst. And week one is always people going like, these spawns are even worse than the spawns last year.
Was that your only instance of the game crashing during zombies?
No, when I was watching, and I guess in the chat when I was streaming yesterday, people said that it when you're watching back replays, that it's crashing a lot right now.
Okay.
This is on PS4. I can't speak to the other versions of the game. But yeah, that was just straight up. We were playing zombies and then boom, crashed. So
weird.
This game does make my PS4 sound like a jet engine.
Yeah. Just sitting at the menu, I had this fans spin way up.
Yeah. But like the competitive multiplayer, I think is fun. I don't like either of the new modes all that much. Heist is like a Counter-Strike-esque thing with a buy menu at the start. And Control is like the domination mode, but with limited lives and
I don't like
bigger
Control.
areas. I don't like Control either. It's the areas are like, I feel like the areas they chose to be the control points are too big and too open in a way that's just like, well, I'm standing here trying to capture this thing, but like there's 9 ways into this room.
It seemed like if I had like a team that I was talking to, it'd be a little more.
It seems like that's what they built it for.
But with randos, it seems like it's just luck of the jump.
Totally.
If you
Kind
get to
of
jump on them,
kind of weird. That's the mode they steer you to first.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna swap those units out.
I imagine.
I think they swapped.
week.
They swapped it out during the Blackout beta. They swapped it from
Okay.
like quads to duos at one point. So it
Okay.
seems like that's a unit they can.
So they'll push different modes there. Okay.
But yeah, like from the competitive multiplayer end, it almost feels like there's aspects of this that I look at and go like, man, the people making this game sure don't like regular ass Call of Duty anymore, do they? Because like team deathmatch is like the bottom of the menu.
Yeah.
Like they're trying their hardest to push this objective mode.
What is Chaos Team DM?
That's just it's team deathmatch and kill confirmed.
Okay.
In one hopper.
Because I think I had to drill down an extra layer to find plain old Team Deathmatch.
Yeah,
like only
they're featured
Chaos,
modes.
Chaos
and then,
TDM was the only one I saw.
Yeah.
Right after that.
And Control and Heist are up at the top. You know, they're pushing the new modes pretty hard. But like both of their new modes are like more complicated objective-based modes. They added manual health restore. Like it's clear. It to me it seems like that they are trying to find ways to make the game more tactical and more thoughtful, which I think works in some ways. And like at some point I'm up for a certain amount of that, and you go too far in that direction, and it's just kind of not Call of Duty anymore. I don't know. Different people are gonna have different opinions on that, I guess. But I don't much care for their new modes all that much. The manual health thing, though, I think actually is cool.
Yeah.
Every kill cam I've had, immediately after they gun me down, they'll just pop themselves with new health.
Yeah.
It's a weird dynamic. I kind of enjoy it too.
Yeah, and so you can swap out that. So fast heal seems like a must.
Yeah.
There's one slot on your there's one gear slot you have for like, oh, it could be what is it, like you hear enemy footsteps louder. There's like 5 or 6 things that can be in that slot. But the fast stim that lets you kind of heal while you're on the move, and it all happens a lot faster and it recharges much more quickly. Like, I can't imagine playing without that. But it's nice. So, you know, you have to hit a button to heal, which is very weird compared to, you know, a lot of Call of Duty games prior to this. And at first I was like, this doesn't seem like a great system. It doesn't seem like it has, it doesn't feel like it adds anything. But the thing it adds is when you have that fast stim involved, like, you get back up to full health a lot faster than you used to, as long as you're on it. So like, you get out of an encounter, like you kill a guy, you have like 40 health, you back off and hit it, it goes right back up pretty fast.
Yeah.
And you're like ready to go again, which is neat because, you know, it used to be like, oh, I need to hide back here and wait for all this red shit to fade off the screen and then we can go forward, which, you know, if you're not using fast stim, I imagine the timing is probably a little bit more like that. I was
still surprised how fast it is, though. I was expecting some like long bandaging animation.
Oh,
or something
right,
like
yeah,
that.
just unbreaking your just Far Cry,
right.
dig out bullets type crap.
But even the default heal is
okay.
faster than I thought.
I haven't seen the default heal since that event that I went to. So yeah, I guess I'm not sure exactly how long it is. But yeah, it ends up, the whole game just feels a little more propulsive, even without the movement options and stuff they've used in the past. Like the speed of movement feels good. That fast heal gets you back into encounters a little more quickly. Like, overall, I just think the game speed feels really nice. You know, the time to kill is pretty low, and you're just like, brah, brah, but you're like, just always fucking going. And I think that feels good. That's kind of what I want out of Call of Duty, is like, you know, yeah, the tactical stuff is interesting, but like, I just want to keep going. And I think they do a good job with that. So yeah, I'm having, between that and the blackout mode, I'm having more fun with this than I have in a few years.
Yeah,
with the franchise. So
seems like the consensus is fairly positive.
Yeah,
from what I've seen.
Though some of the spawns are pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, I mean, I've spawned basically into the line of sight of people ready to gun me down.
Totally.
Before.
Yeah, and it's not the tactical deploy. It's not like, because there's a player ability of like, set a thing down and you can spawn here, and sometimes that's going to be a dangerous spot. But yeah, some of the random spawns will definitely be like, oh, I spawned and there's a guy right here and I'm shooting him, and hooray. Or vice versa.
Yeah.
It's good to know there's a guy behind me shooting me. Great.
Yes. All right, it's good to know that's an acknowledged problem and not just
yeah, me. On some level, it's like, people are unhappy about the spawns in these games every single year. So sometimes it's hard to know how much of a problem it actually is, but it's definitely been the case where I've been like, oh, this doesn't seem like a place I should be appearing right now, because I'm right next to one of their control points, and that's strange. Yeah. But yeah, it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
Yeah,
it's a big game. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for the Call of Duty report. That's been this week's pod. Yeah, no. There are probably other games to talk about, but first we're gonna take a break, and then we'll come back and talk about them.
Speak dogs.
Speak dogs? Oh,
that's
right.
Some
kind of new hot dogs?
Speakerinos.
Talking hot dog?
Hot speaks.
Huh.
No, just speakers, man. I'm talking about speakers.
Speaks with an X?
Yeah. Speaks. The freshest speaks in town are delivered by Sonos with the Sonos Beam.
Beamin' speak. Help me out here.
Beamin' the audio of anything you want to listen to all over the place, coming out this Sonos Beam. It's the smart compact soundbar for your TV and the newest addition to the easy-to-use home sound system.
Sits right there in front of the TV, huh?
Yeah.
Makes noise?
That's right.
Not just any noise.
No, not just any noise. What describe the noise. What do you think of the sound?
It's fairly rich.
All right.
Robust.
Okay.
Succulent?
Wow.
No.
Succulent sounds of the Sonos Beam, and Beam lets you play everything you love, from music to radio.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Movies, TV,
Yeah. AM.
podcasts. I don't know if you listen to podcasts.
What's your spice, baby?
I can't recommend it.
Yeah.
And more.
Be careful
That's
of
right.
those
No,
things.
careful though. They'll get in your head.
Not to be trusted.
Nope. You can even use AirPlay. You can,
Yeah.
you can send sound out of your iPhone or iPad directly to the beam.
Everything's wireless now.
That's right.
I don't know if you heard.
No wires. Just rich sound that will fill the room with deep bass and detailed stereo separation.
Is that a tweeter?
It's I assume it's approximating the concept of tweets.
Okay.
Some hot tweets.
Ooh, I don't
some
know.
mids.
No tweets in my living room.
Okay, all right. How about just tweeters then?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Crystal clear dialogue for TV and for movies.
Yeah.
And it only takes one cord to connect Beam to your TV. Syncs with your existing remote. You've got hands-free control with Alexa, which is built right in.
She's a nice lady.
Alexa. The Sonos app will walk you through setup step by step. But if you don't even want to bother setting up your speakers, Sonos will do it for you. They'll bring someone into your home who will set up the speaks.
An expert technician?
That's right. If you live in any major metropolitan area.
A speaksman or woman?
That's right. The speaksman or speakswoman will come courtesy of Up and Running.
Oh.
That's right. A Sonos expert will deliver and set up your system absolutely free.
Free?
Yeah.
Wow.
If you're interested in the Up and Running service.
Okay.
Head on over to Sonos.com, place your order for the Sonos Beam there, and select Up and Running at checkout if you qualify. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
What else y'all been playing?
I'm playing Mega Man 11.
Oh.
I like it quite a bit. I'm a Mega Man fan. I've played through all the mainline games and a bunch of the other games, and I think that they were smart on this one. So, 9 and 10 were kind of the first of the okay, we're bringing back retro Mega Man. We're going to make it like you remember it, for better or for worse. I thought 9 and 10 were actually pretty good as far as hey, these are like those old Mega Man games you like. It's just they kind of innovated a little bit on level design and boss design and stuff like that, but they still felt fairly classic.
It feels like they promoted them as just this is going to be hard.
Yeah, that's very much how the marketing went back then.
And this one is like that. It's like the old ones in pretty much every way except that the new gear system. So there's the power gear and a speed gear. And at first when I played the demo, I was like, oh, I bet this is going to kind of be gimmicky and I'm not going to really use it all that much. But no, they really built the game around encouraging you to get really good with going back and forth on those two things. So the power gear kind of gives you the ability to do turns your normal bullets into the middle level charge shots. And
just
then
as fast as you can.
You can get
hammer 'em
3
out?
at a time,
Okay.
kind of like a little spray. And then you can get a supercharged shot, which shoots 2 charge shots and knocks you back. And then the other gear slows down time. And it slows down Mega Man 2, but you can get an upgrade from the shop that makes you move at normal speed while everything else slows down.
Shop?
Yeah, so that's the other thing. There's a shop, and there's a decent amount in this game that they aren't really clear about. Let's say it's retro in a lot of ways still, not telling you up front. So you're collecting bolts. This was kind of, I think, first introduced in Mega Man 7. You are collecting little bolts, and those are your currency, and you can buy, extra lives, energy tanks, weapon tanks, stuff like that. But then you can also buy kind of permanent upgrades. One that is an auto charge, where it's just always going to be charging you while you're running. One that reduces recoil when you get hit, stuff like that. The game was impossible before I found those. I'm gonna say.
Are those all active once you buy them, or do you have slots that you have to swap them in and out?
So far, I've just equipped them all. But yeah, I was like, this game is unforgiving when I was first playing it. It just felt way, way, way too hard, and I realized it was because you make bolts pretty fast, so you can get up to 9 lives really easily. You can get some energy tanks easily, and I just wasn't utilizing the power gear and the speed gear. It's the way they kind of build levels around those are really cool. So one of the levels is Blast Man. It's like a kind of explosion themed stage where A lot of it is so as soon as you cross a line, a timer goes off and an explosion. Like the platforms are made out of bombs, and you just got to kind of run your way through. But if you're slowing down time, you can get better positioning, and then there'll be like a really strong enemy in the way, so you want to switch to the power gear, take him out really fast. It is a cool thing where if you're low on health, you can activate both, and then once you're done, you just can't even charge shot anymore. It's like kind of like a last ditch. Like I know I'm going to hit this next checkpoint, or I know I'm going to beat this boss. You kind of just turn it on, just to like give it one last little effort.
That's cool.
Yeah, I really do appreciate a lot of the things this game does. Probably the most glaring problem with it is there's no autosave feature, nor does it ever prompt you to save. You need to go into options and save the game, which I found out after I had beaten the robot masters and turned off the game.
Wait, like all of them?
Yeah. Yeah, a solid, I would say 5 to 6 hours of progress was lost.
What?
Yeah.
What? How does it not just save every time you beat a boss?
Yeah, how does it not do that, Brad? What? How does it not do that?
Man.
It doesn't do...
That's rotten.
So how long did it take you to do it a second time?
Like 3 hours.
Okay.
So yeah, at that point I kind of had a feel for the stages.
Yeah.
I didn't know the exact boss order, but I had a better idea because...
Wait, you'd beaten all 8 bosses at that point? Man, that sucks.
Yeah.
So does it want you to rerun levels to get more bolts? It sounds like, with the currency in a shop and stuff, is it a case of like, oh, I'm going to run this level 5 times in a row to get enough bolts to just buy all the stuff and then cruise through the rest? Or what do you...
No, I kind of found that they dole them out at a pretty good pace. Like by the time I would beat a level, I had maybe like 700, and like for reference, the big power-ups are 300 and extra life is like 40.
Okay.
And sometimes stuff is on sale, like the shop prices kind of rotate, so it encourages you to kind of just pick whatever's cheapest and go from there. I really do like a lot of what it does with the level design, though. Like adding those, it's a very simple thing, just like, oh, you can either be stronger or have time slowed, but it kind of bursts open what you can do with level design for what you know as a Mega Man level,
right?
When you start to incorporate those things, and it's not even necessary. Like it's not like, okay, I have to use the speed gear in this area, but it makes them make the game a little bit harder, let's say. But
knowing that you can
tools.
use speed gear to get through it if you need it, but if you're just fucking that good, you can just get through it.
Exactly. Like, so there's enemies that will have just like a weak spot that rotates around them, or you know, stuff like that, where once I kind of had played through enough, I could hit them easy without using the gear, but just using that to approach these different scenarios was
So what's the deal on the limits of usage for that stuff? Can you always go into speed gear, or is it a meter that drains
like a little
and refills?
Meter, yeah, and then if it hits all the way, it takes forever to drain back down.
Okay.
I would say that one of the bigger bummers is, I'll get to the end of a screen and be like right up on that, right before it's full, it's like 90% full, and I'll just have to wait, I don't know, 8 seconds for it to drain, which I feel like is just long enough where I'm like, man, I really wish like maybe when you entered a new screen, it just automatically, and there are enemies do drop like a little item that'll reset. One of the items that's added to the rotation of random enemy drops is like a gear, which will just set it back down to 0. So sometimes, you just get that and it's fine. But sometimes you're just waiting. I just find myself waiting a little bit too long for it to fully deplete. But as far as the game goes, I got back up to the Wily's Castle equivalent. And as long as it finishes strong, I feel comfortable putting this pretty high on my Mega Man
your
OG list,
ranking of Mega Man,
which is definitive and unarguable in any way.
Yeah, I'm looking. I pulled up a list of bosses and kind of post-boss stuff, and it looks like a similar amount of kind of number of levels and bosses and stuff to the original games.
Yeah, and I like the boss design quite a bit. Feels like it's been long enough that they've kind of thought up some kind of organic ones. There's some that just kind of have
Tundra Man.
Tundra Man's cool.
Is he like an SUV or truck or whatever Toyota Tundra is?
His hair is like icicles, and it comes out of his character portrait.
Blockman.
Blockman's cool because he like turns
is
into
he just Minecraft.
He's more of just like he kind of looks like an igloo without a front. he's weird. But then he turns into a big guy like halfway through and gets a new health bar, and I'm like, oh shit, this isn't a normal Mega Man boss.
Impact Man is a pretty good name.
Yeah. He's a motherfucker. He was probably the hardest one.
And
Bound for Glory.
Bounce Man.
Bounce Man.
Bounce Man.
Bounce Man stage is really fun too. It reminds me of some of the more fun stuff in 7.
So the big question I have is, A, does the game give you any sense at all of what order you should play the bosses in? And
Nope.
B, did you like just go online and look at a list, or?
I haven't looked yet. I've tried to do what I try and do every time, which is kind of intuit it and be like, okay, there's the ice guy, and there's the fire guy. That one's obvious. But then who do I think beats the ice guy? And I just kind of
Did they ever
try to work my way backwards from
Did
there.
they ever follow any kind of logic? I think back to like Mega Man 2, and it felt like totally arbitrary which weapons worked on which bosses.
I feel like there would occasionally be just like elemental things that you would make sense, right?
Like an electric guy is going to beat a water guy.
Yeah.
There are fairly
or is
obvious
a water
ones.
guy going to beat an electric guy? You're throwing water on a toaster is bad for the toaster. The water doesn't give a shit.
The water gets fucked up. It gets full of electrons.
It's just water. It's fine.
I bet that's going to fuck up the pH balance.
Oh, yeah,
the very
definitely.
least.
Yeah, bare minimum.
be
You're not
undrinkable.
going to want to swim in that.
Anyways, the definitive ranking of Mega Man's is 2, 3, 11, 9, 8, 1, 6, 10, 5, 7, 4.
Wow.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
No Battle Network in there, huh?
Well, this is just core.
Okay.
Like
All right.
1 through
Fair.
11.
Okay,
If
so
we were going to throw in those. Then...
X also does not
So you
factor.
think
X does
11,
not
you haven't
factor.
finished it yet, but you're already comfortable putting it third of all time.
Yeah, I
Wow.
really do like. It feels like they wanted to make another Mega Man game, and they knew they couldn't just make another 9 or a 10. So they were
Yeah.
like, "What can we add to this without losing that kind of core bullshit of just like, oh, an enemy hit me off of a platform, and I fell into a pit of spikes and died."
Yeah.
Do you guys? Maybe I'm being very conspiratorial here. Do you think the timing of this game's release with respect to Mighty Number 9 is at all suspect? Like, do you? I don't know. I just kind of have this image of them looking at Mighty Number 9 and be like, "All right, motherfuckers! Like, look,
This is how you.
we're gonna make a 3D Mega Man. Fuck you. You fucked this up, and you don't have the license."
I feel like that kind of maybe led to some discussion. I wouldn't say that
Probably.
they completely ignored Mighty Number 9.
I bet you could look at that and go like, oh, well, if this number of people came out for this thing, what if we did the real thing that they actually want? But then that's like asking for a logic that I feel like Capcom has not followed through on for years and years and years. So it's hard to say.
I will say this is probably my favorite Capcom showing in a long time.
Well, okay.
It's just really it's exactly what I wanted from a Mega Man game, minus that losing 6 hours of progress.
Yeah, that seems like something they could address.
Yeah, at least like prompt you to save after bosses. Oh, one little quality of life thing I really like that they added is after you get a boss power, it puts you in a little room and you can just test out the power.
Oh, that's cool.
And it gives you appropriate enemies and like a scenario where you might use it.
It's neat.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the power gear powers up the special weapons too.
Okay.
So like it totally feels like from the ground up they had the idea of this like
Yeah.
2-gear system and kind of built everything around it.
What kind of movement abilities? You got Rush in there? Or you calling
You
Rush
have a
down?
rush coil, and then halfway through you get the rush jet.
Hmm.
You can slide.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Standard kit.
Standard kit. You can buy beat. That's the bird, right?
I think
that's right.
seems right.
I believe
yeah,
that's
I
the
don't
Which
know.
will save you from a pit. If you just fall into a pit,
Oh.
he'll come and pluck you out for
Yeah.
like 40 a piece, which was in 7, I think, for the first time too.
Okay.
They took I really liked 7 as a kid. Playing it recently, it's not so good, but a lot of the stuff they introduced with like the shop and kind of just like adding this buffer period or adding this way for if you're slamming your head against this level and you can't progress, like go in there, buy a couple energy tanks and you'll be good to go. It's like making the game. I appreciate when games are hard, but I don't appreciate them when they're hard and you feel like you just can't get better.
There's like
at
no
them.
other option. It's like you will just have to get better at this. There's no like, hey, I can't grind around it. I can't, there's no kind of like side path to progress.
Yeah.
Totally. Cool.
Let's make it, man.
Y'all got anything else you want to bring to the table?
I've been playing Maplestory 2.
Oh boy.
I've been playing a little bit too much of Maplestory 2.
Oh.
Have you been playing this yourself?
Yes, all by myself.
No, as yourself.
Oh,
with
yes.
your own face.
I didn't roll. Oh, no. I didn't want to buy my face. I've just been rolling with my character model.
They don't have face over IP technology.
Well, they have a custom workshop where you can sell.
Oh, you mean FOIP?
FOIP.
Yeah, FOIP.
No FOIP in there.
No FOIP.
Bummer.
Um,
Did you guys see the footage of that stuff?
Oh yeah.
That stuff is crazy.
Star Citizen's everyone's favorite real game added face over IP.
Added real features to the very real game.
It looks good. I like the way FOIP looks.
When it works, it looks very good.
Yeah.
When it breaks, it looks
Even better.
Yep. I'm sorry, Jan. Go ahead.
No problem. We had played Maplestory 2 last Thursday for breakfast, and then a user had stood next to my character and had my face displayed on their character. So
Straight up like a PNG of your
Yeah.
face.
Sounds like there's a lot of images making their way into that game that
yeah,
maybe
and that's the part that's
maybe
a bummer.
should be moderated out.
I had done my duty and reported an image that I did not think was suitable,
Mhm.
and it was immediately removed. But I think that's just from my instance. But yeah, there's a lot of odd communities coming to Maplestory 2, and I'll leave it at that.
Some pre-made fandoms.
Maybe fandoms of political figures.
Aha.
We'll say.
Oh, sure. Yes. Okay.
It sounds like there's some real shitbags doing like fucking
Really douchey things.
some Nazi-looking shit.
The things they
we
do on
had,
the
we had
internet.
someone write in and say, "Hey, you should search for this, this, and this on the Maplestory store. They're doing a bad job of moderating it. It's full of Nazi shit." I'm like, good.
Okay.
The Habbo Hotel trolls have found their new place.
Yes, they found a new pool to close.
But barring all the trolls, I've had a really fun time.
Great.
I have a
Okay.
giant duck as my mount, and I think it's been
Nice.
a while since I've fallen into a MMO trap of carrot on the stick of like, all right, I'm just going to keep clicking this button, and then we're going to keep going. Bars are going to go up.
You're saying numbers go up.
A lot of numbers go up.
All right.
And then I'm an archer class, so I have like a AoE attack, so more numbers pop up.
Okay.
Tell me about the story.
Tell me about the maple.
Well, the story.
Tell me about the two.
Well, now it's isometric instead of 2D. The story, there's this cool guy named Jotty. That's about it. My character's very angsty.
Okay.
There's a conspiracy going on about a masked figure, I think.
Is it Zorro?
Maybe.
That'd be
Maybe.
cool.
There's a lot of anime going on.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of chibi, cutesy stuff and drama that I'm not completely paying attention to. But it's a great game to just mash away and catch up on a couple podcasts. I don't know if it's because it's a Korean MMO, but there's a lot of systems that aren't explained and a lot of text on screen that I've played maybe 10 hours at this point.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what half of the things on screen are doing.
Cool.
There's like 3 different currencies. One is like a gold that you just earn through quests. Another is a login bonus. And then there's 3 more that are premium forms of currency that you can only use on certain marketplaces. And it's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I've had a fun time in it so far.
Cool.
It's fairly mashy. The first game was a 2D side-scrolling style of
Like kind of
MMO.
actiony.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like MMO in the like push number keys and watch text
Right.
play out sense, right? Yeah.
It was very active.
Mhm.
This
Wasn't-
game is exactly like that.
Wasn't that like 1,000 years ago?
just about
first
1,000
Maplestory
years
one?
ago.
Yeah.
First Maplestory.
Yeah, Ben and I looked up the numbers and it had made in its lifetime, and it was something crazy like
Close to 4 billion.
4 billion.
Wow. Huh.
It's a Maplestory 2. I forget if Maplestory 1 was free, but Maplestory 2 is free. But with all those different forms of currency, you can plunge in a crap ton of real money into
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
I feel like I always get Maplestory and Ragnarok Online mixed
They're
up.
pretty much the same.
Yeah.
For me,
okay.
it's Maplestory and
RuneScape.
RuneScape. Yeah,
Mm.
that's the one that's just like
Those were the two like really popular ones around like middle school, high school for me.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I've had a lot of friends reach out and ask, like, because they were super into Maplestory 1 back in elementary and high school, that they're kind of intrigued
yeah.
that it's kind of come back in a big way. I think it was like on Steam's top 10 played
Oh wow.
this past weekend, which is kind of insane.
I was going to ask if it was on Steam. I was assuming the answer was no because it just seems
Yeah.
like the sort of game where they would definitely have their own launcher and
You
want you to go through their own stuff.
you download a launcher through Steam,
Yeah,
and then it pops up through that way. I think I might sink some more time into it, minus all the douchebags online.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Watch out for the anime Nazis.
I do want to give a really quick shout out to a phone game that I've been enjoying quite a bit called Pocket City. Any of you guys check this out?
Yeah, I bought that and kind of liked it.
Yeah.
I thought I originally got it. I was like, oh, we should do a quick look at this. Like somebody made SimCity for iPhone. Like,
Yeah.
yes, of course. I don't know. It didn't fully get me.
I'm still early enough where I haven't kind of made up my mind on it, but I enjoy the fact that it is $3 or $4 and there's 0 microtransactions in it. It's just straight up like a sim city sort of building thing. I'll put more time into it, but so far, like I like that I'm just going through like the main quest mode where you keep giving you objectives of how to grow your city. It's a nice little time waster for me so far.
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't know. I just kind of fell off of it.
I've been playing Hold Down.
What's that?
Is that the weird? I think I know what it is, but I can't think of how to describe it in any way.
It's
like you line up a shot.
You line up a shot
things
and
bounce
and
around
and shoot a ball down into a well, and there are blocks in the well with numbers on them. That meaning they take that number of hits before they are broken.
Yeah,
and so you want to get ball trapped, bouncing around a bunch of them to get, just to knock them out. After every shot, the blocks move up one space. If they reach the top of the screen, you lose.
Yeah, and
it's like a Mr. Driller thing almost, wherever you reach the bottom and there's a big thing to break. And but the thing is it starts with one ball, but then, before long, you are launching like 20 balls at the same time. So you're launching a whole string of them, and they're all bouncing around and doing all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
Which there are a lot of knockoffs of this concept that get presented in ads in other iPhone games. So I've definitely seen a lot of those ads and go like, this seems familiar, but also this looks super generic. I'm like, oh, it's because it's a Hold Down clone.
Yeah.
I played one of those.
That's mobile games.
Yeah. And you level up like, oh, I want to start with more balls, and you level up your capacity because you, over the course of a run, you will increase the number of balls you have, and so on and so forth. I'm near the end of it. It's really short. It's like it's a few bucks.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check it out. I got the sense that it's kind of like the sort of indie action puzzle game du jour. Yeah, like the thing people are talking about.
I think it was a little while ago.
Yeah.
I'm maybe coming to it kind of late.
This is the ridiculous fishing or super hexagon of this year.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Oh, man, ridiculous fishing was good.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Yeah, it's really good.
Real quick, I haven't gotten super deep into it. Also, it's a hard game to talk about, but I played The Missing. JJ Macfield and the Island of Memories, I think is the full title. It's the new game from Swery.
One for JJ.
Swery made a puzzle platformer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
is it like a Henry Hatsworth sort of thing?
No,
something about the name of it. I don't know. Maybe
I need to play more of it. The puzzle solving has been very light so far. It much more seems like a vehicle for his bizarre storytelling.
Okay.
It's just been kind of drag boxes around to climb on and jump onto things.
Like
and stuff.
walk up to boxes, grab them, and pull them around like Sokoban style? Or like, what's the perspective? Is it side-scrolling?
It's side-scroller,
okay.
yeah. It's just a very basic side-scroller.
Okay.
But you're a lady named JJ. You go to an island that I think is described as like capable of making you relive memories that are locked away. Or I don't know. It's very surreal.
Fantasy Island,
kind
of sorts.
You go there with either a friend or your girlfriend. It's not super clear from the intro because like very quickly you just descend into some kind of like
video game,
like grim. No, like this grim dream state where nothing makes sense and like she's missing. And I won't say because like we need to do a quick look and there's some just almost right away just some very sweary-esque bizarre stuff starts showing up.
Okay,
you'll see. I will say
you'll all see.
I mean, that stuff is just better. Like, I could tell you the first crazy thing that happens, but you should just see it for yourself.
Right.
I will say that I didn't think a better in-game cell phone would happen this year than Donut County.
Oh.
This game... Well, this game does not have any... duck
emojis?
Yeah, it doesn't have any emojis that you can trigger at will, so maybe Donut County still takes the win.
Okay.
But the first appearance of the in-game cell phone in this thing is pretty special.
All right.
We should sit down and look at that thing.
Yeah, I want to check it out. I've been hearing some good things.
It's strange. It's very strange.
Cool.
Look for that later in the week.
I'm gonna get into Starlink probably today.
Oh yeah. Is that out this week?
It is out. I believe it's out.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got all the toys and stuff.
Got a box of plastic spaceships.
So I'm unclear. Yeah, I have to start playing it, but I'm unclear on whether the toys are required. But I think like the the version I was sent was a deluxe version of the game that it sounds like it just unlocks digital versions of, so like all the in-game stuff is maybe going to be unlocked, and you might not need the toys.
Oh, weird.
It's
Is that just some concession to the fact that Toys to Life is kind of
maybe
not
maybe
the healthiest market?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, maybe we should make it so that people can just buy our game.
But I got one of those R-Wings. It seems sturdy. It's big. It's kind of cool. Like
Can
it
you
looks
bolt stuff onto it?
And the characters are really small in a way that's kind of rad. Also, it's like a tiny little fox figurine. You're like, yeah, I'm kind of into this.
You can put the guns on backwards, and if you do, they shoot backwards in the game.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, like conceptually, it's
That's
really
kinda
neat. Yeah.
cool.
So I'm as someone who's played a lot of Toys to Life video games, I'm excited to get going on that.
All right. Look for that stuff in the coming days on the website.
Lots of games.
Yeah. Look for a discussion of today's headlines right now as we discuss the news from the world of games.
I found
Game
it.
World.
That kind of news.
Yeah.
PlayStation Network name changes.
Yeah.
It's happening.
It's happening.
They announced it.
Woo.
Yeah, we talked about some of this last week, but they came out and said,
Yeah,
here's how it's going to
I'm
be.
trying to remember because they officially announced it the day after last week's podcast. I'm
Right.
trying to remember, why did we talk about it? Oh,
It
it
had
was
leaked
developer
out. Yeah.
documents and stuff.
Developers
were
gotten
starting
out talking about some of it.
Yeah, so they posted the PlayStation blog last Wednesday, basically saying, "Hey, it's happening. Here is a beta is happening very shortly."
Beta for changing your name.
Yeah.
Yep, man, there are some strange details.
I feel
around
like on
this thing.
some level, a beta for changing your name says everything about this thing being a fucking mess.
You think that sounds like a mess?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is once you dig into it, this thing is a fucking
oh my god!
mess.
Like all I have to do is read what they wrote, and you will see immediately what I mean.
Hit me.
Okay. Well, so yeah, like I said, there is a preview program where they will be testing this stuff. During the preview program, you will be able to change your online ID as many times as you want. So they leave out. I assume here they are saying once the thing goes live, but they don't spell that out. But it says the first change is free, and changes after that will cost $9.99 US. For PlayStation Plus members, it will cost $4.99 after the first change. Changes to online ID can be made through the settings menu or the profile page of your PS4. So yeah, I assume that means you can change as much as you want during the preview.
Yeah.
And
For
then once
free,
it-
you mean?
yeah.
Or
Yeah, they don't super spell it out here.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's the weird part.
Doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, like that's consistent with Xbox Live. That's kind of whatever, but check this out. When you change your online ID, you will have the option to display your previous ID with your new ID so your friends can recognize you. Once you decide to display your old ID or not, you won't be able to adjust this after completing the online ID change process.
What?
Like, you have to decide at the time of change if you want your old ID to continue showing up or not, because you will never get a chance to amend that again.
Do you want to truly start over? Do you want to do you want to be in witness? Do you want to change your name, or do you want to go into witness protection
So like,
program?
right off the bat, the part where you have the option of showing both names, but then you'll never be able to change that is weird, but it gets way weirder.
And I wonder if that's like because they will then reserve your existing name for you so no one else can take it.
Well,
or
so
not,
you would
or-
hope they would do that anyway, and here is why, because here is the next part.
Yeah.
This feature is compatible with PS4 games originally published after April 1st, 2018, and a large majority of the most played PS4 games that were released before this date. However, please note, not all games and applications for PS4, PS3, and PS Vita systems are guaranteed to support the online ID change, and users may occasionally encounter issues or errors in certain games. If for any reason you experience issues after changing out your ID, you can revert back to your original ID for free at any time. You will only be able to revert once during the preview program. Reverting back to an old ID will resolve most issues caused by the ID change.
Most.
Yeah.
What are these issues?
When this feature officially launches, a list of compatible games published before April 1st, 2018 will be provided.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love for them to spell out the potential issues, like because if it's like, oh, you can't play it at all,
Yeah.
or the online doesn't work, or it might show your old name or gibberish characters, like acceptable ones. So my understanding is of why this is difficult. Something I had heard a while back was that save data on older PlayStation platforms was tied to your ID. Meaning, so my guess, and it is just a guess because I don't know what they've done or anything, would be that maybe save data on some of those games, PS3 games in particular, might not load because you are using a different ID and it's signed to a different ID and blah 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 and all this sort of stuff. That's my total guess based on some stuff I heard a long time ago now about names on PSN. So I don't know what it means for PS4. What it means is that there's going to be some tiny indie game that you're going to want to play someday, and it's going to maybe throw some kind of error because it's not one of the most played PS4 games, and maybe didn't get the patch it needed to get.
Right. And
so now I wonder, like, okay, well, what are those errors? I wish they would get out and say what the likely situation is supposed to be, because if it's like, hey, this game you bought, you might not be able to play it at all.
Right.
Then that's not a good solution.
Especially on the PS4. Like, I could see Vita and PS3 games because those are older platforms, but like,
and I feel like that's something you solve by just not changing it there and having it be like legacy name and new, well, whatever. I don't know enough about how it works to say that that's an easy solution, but
yeah, you're right. That is what I expected them to do.
Yeah.
Just to try to maintain as much compatibility as possible. Like, I mean, we're talking about, like, the PS4 is the PlayStation of record right now.
Right.
Like, the idea that a bunch of games on the current PlayStation break.
Yeah. So I guess there was just a PS3 firmware update recently. And I wonder if it was stuff that they're doing to try to support some of this stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if there was a corresponding Vita firmware update or if there's still something coming or what, but to try to, do what they can on those platforms to work with this. I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
Like, I didn't expect this to be perfect, but this is messier than I ever envisioned it being.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
I don't know. Like, would you guys change your name?
It depends. Like, I need to see what breaks and
Oh,
how
you
it breaks.
right?
I definitely want to.
Like, this makes me very glad that I'm happy with my name, because I would, even if I wanted to change it, I would now be thinking, like, do I really want to risk, like, having all these games not working
So
anymore?
I don't know that I have any PlayStation 3 or PlayStation Vita save data that I give a shit about. So if it's like if it's like, oh, your saves don't load, that's fine.
Yeah, that's not so bad. My bigger worry was, like you said, like, maybe multiplayer doesn't work or it can't connect to some server,
right,
or something like that.
Yeah. So I guess I want to see the bug list of, like, well, what's incompatible and how is it incompatible, and what are, is this stuff that will get better over time, or are you just kind of wiping your hands with it and going, no one's playing this game anymore.
Pain.
Yeah, no one's playing Pain. The Pain leaderboards are broken. Who cares?
But what if it's like, Street Fighter? Or, games like that, which are entirely multiplayer focused.
Yeah. And still get played at tournaments and stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right. Yeah. Like Persona 4 Arena, or, some of the stuff that, didn't move forward onto current consoles that you might still be playing on a PS3.
Yeah.
Or even anything before April of this year that's almost 4 years, almost 5 years worth of PS4 games.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Is
for
potentially subject to problems.
So, yeah, I guess I want to, like, they're very vague about, they say, like, oh, the most played games prior to that date will get an update to make them work, and cool. But I guess I just want to know, like, what's getting left behind and what happens to those games. Yeah. Like, it's no longer, I'm definitely going to change my name. Now it's like, I need to look and weigh this out now. It's not an easy choice anymore. Yeah. And that's frustrating, but I bet if they could have done better with this stuff, they probably would have.
Oh yeah,
I bet no one's sitting in there going like, nailed it. Like, they're probably like, well, people want this at any cost, and this is at any cost.
This is probably why it's also taken so long.
Right. Yeah. This is definitely...
It's not Sony being like, we're not going to flip this switch. It's not like crossplay.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, right.
God,
When's this beta supposed to be? Did they say?
I believe it's next month. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll get a
we'll start to know
about
more.
Yeah, like I guess now we know why they're having a beta. Like, this is going to be very useful to see what problems people.
And is it anyone can opt in open beta sort of thing?
I think it's people that were already in their firmware betas.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, they used the phrase. Where is it?
If you got
the PlayStation preview program.
Yeah. So
I was wondering,
if you were in that firmware 6.0.
I thought you had to sign up individually for every.
They changed
firmware.
that. I want to say with 6 or maybe the one before that,
Okay.
they changed it to now you're in and you will be in.
Like how Microsoft does it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except Microsoft does it on a rolling basis where
Right.
like, you're in the the slow ring, the alpha ring, fast ring, whatever,
Just
and
get all the-
you're always getting updates.
Yeah.
Whereas Sony stuff is way more like, hey, there is something available. You can opt to install it.
Okay.
They're not just going to force everyone onto beta firmware.
Right.
It's just you go into the system software upgrade, and even when you have the beta installed, you can revert back. It just says like, do you want to install this beta thing or the latest of like 5.15 or 6.0 beta 2 or whatever it was. Yeah. But I think they are now working on a like, once you're in, you're going to get the stuff down the line.
I wonder what they even have to add to that console at this point. Considering what 6.0 was.
I assume that 6.0 was the legwork or the building blocks of this feature, right?
Yeah. It just, the console seems pretty mature in general at this point.
Yeah, I mean, short of like, hey, we've overhauled the entire front end to, give it a new look and hopefully
I hope not. I actually
excite people.
I like the PS4 interface quite a bit. Speaking of the PS4 maturing, Sony is out there talking around a PlayStation 5 now.
Yeah.
This kind of made headlines, people saying like, Sony confirms PlayStation 5 or whatever. Like, they didn't use that phrase.
But,
it's
they're
pretty vague.
They're going to make another console.
But yes, of course.
They are. This is the get ready for E3 or maybe the next one.
Or maybe the next one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is like
or the one after that.
This is the announcement of an announcement of an announcement.
Right.
If a certain giant bomb business guy wanted to write on a wall and make a bet about when the PlayStation 5 would be released, he should tread lightly. I guess the biggest quotes are from Kenichiro Yoshida, who is the president and CEO of Sony. Told the Financial Times, at this point, what I can say is it's necessary to have a next generation hardware. So there you go. The other thing he said is we will use the next 3 years to prepare the next step to crouch down so that we can jump higher in the future. I think that's more or less been confirmed. Oh, is that one?
That's from some...
Okay. Oh, you're right. That's the quote from May, I believe. We talked about that back then. And I think that was when they said, like, this is our strategy through fiscal 2020.
Right.
Which takes them basically to, like, end of March 2021, basically?
Yeah.
So, like, that all but confirms
2021.
Like, later in the year 2021 is when a PlayStation 5 would launch.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Unless, hey, timetables change.
Well,
the competitive landscape changes, depending on...
Like, Microsoft is in every position to pull a 360.
And launch first.
And try to beat them by a year again.
I would think.
Like, it worked for them before.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't the only reason the 360 did so well, but it was a big one. There's some other talk about, let's see, this Polygon story. Actually, I'm sorry, this was from the Financial Times report. They talked to people familiar with the PS5 plans, and they said, quote, that it might not represent a major departure from the PS4, and the fundamental architecture would be similar. Also, like, the least surprising thing ever.
Totally.
Which probably means all the PS4 games will be compatible.
It could mean that.
It damn well better mean that.
Oh, yeah. I can see a case where, like, there are a handful of games that are coded in such a way where they don't run right.
A small number of games,
the same way, like, boost mode is not compatible with everything.
Sure.
You
but
probably end up with...
I meant as a matter of blanket policy, if they say PS4 games do not work on PS5, it's not going to go over well.
Yeah, interesting how that's changed.
Yeah.
Over these last decade or so.
Yeah.
Expectations on backwards compatibility.
Yep.
Yeah.
Microsoft kind of forcing their hand on that.
And then there was another patent about, like, different ways to do remasters that Sony had filed. That was maybe not necessarily attached to this, but starts to tell a story of, like, Sony maybe caring slightly more about its legacy than it seems to have.
Interesting.
It seemed like it was an idea around here's a way to basically emulate, and hey, emulators have done this, and it's been interesting to see. But it's the idea of we're going to replace the assets with higher res assets, but emulate the code underneath.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which I want to say that even some of that, like Patapon PS4, because that's a PSP emulator.
Right.
They're emulating the PSP with just higher res assets, so it seems like maybe something around that maybe they can expand.
Like, isn't that how they've done like they did Master Chief Collection that way, right? Like it's It's basically the original game logic running underneath.
Yeah, because you can toggle back and forth
all the new stuff.
between the two. I don't know. It's something similar, I guess. Yeah.
They should remaster Final Fantasy VII.
What?
No, I mean, why?
That would take forever.
I feel like
Yeah.
people would really like it.
Probably not. I mean, there's been so many Final Fantasies since then. Does that mean you even
That's
remember
true,
Final
and none
Fantasy
of those have been
VII?
good.
Yeah, well, yeah, 7 wasn't either, so pretty much just put it on the list.
Last PlayStation 4 related story here. This is weird. I mean, it's like it feels like people are reporting this enough that it maybe is legit, but like Sony has not commented. Nobody has really confirmed what's going on. But supposedly there's a message going around that can
Oh, yeah.
like brick PS4s.
Oh,
With,
Well,
like,
it's not
some
a
certain-
it's a soft brick. It's
Or
something
not,
you can
not brick as in you have to
recover
send it
from,
in.
you know,
like you have to
uh,
factory reset the console.
but like you receive the message and it crashes
Yeah,
the console.
yeah.
Well, you can actually. It sounds like you could go into your messages on your phone
Mhm.
and delete the message, and as soon as that message was not in your inbox anymore, that would
Okay.
maybe clear it up.
Before you turn the
Also, it sounds like
console on?
Sony has corrected the issue.
Oh, they already have?
I want to say that they
Okay.
said that it's no longer a problem.
Okay.
Um,
As of a couple days ago, people were still complaining about it.
yeah, I have my message settings set to not get messages on PS4, so I did not receive it. I
Yeah.
would have liked to have seen it in action in a weird way, just because it's such a crazy thing.
I got
Yeah,
hit by
but
that one that was going around the iPhone one.
Yeah, I've never gotten any of those.
Sounds like on the
Twitter tried to do it this morning.
Yeah.
supposedly, according to like posters on Reddit and so forth, people were using this offensively in multiplayer games.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Basically, just get in there and then send the message to people on the other team and
Right.
knock them out of the match and
Yeah.
just win.
that's good shit.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Good sportsmanship.
Yeah,
yeah, great stuff.
GM, good manners.
Yeah, at least with like cloud saves and stuff, if you have to reset your console, like the worst you're looking at is re-downloading.
Maybe
your
that's what
games.
happened to my Black Ops game. Maybe someone else got the message, and when they crashed, it crashed the whole game. Who can say?
Who could say?
Who can say?
Who can say?
I can say which 3 new NES games have been added to Nintendo
All right,
Switch
let me
Online.
guess. Let me
Oh,
guess. Let me
boy.
guess. Let me
I wanna
guess. Let me
guess
guess.
too. I wanna guess too.
Do you not know?
Let me guess.
I don't know.
The Simpsons, Bart versus the Space Mutants, Wall Street Kid, and Kickle Cubicle.
I'm gonna
got
go. Legend of Zelda 1, Legend of Zelda 2, Mario 3.
Zelda was already in there.
Mario was already in there.
Fuck!
Yeah, good going.
Do you guys really not know?
No.
I think I know.
Ice Climber.
No. I mean, do you just want me to say it? You got it in front of you. This is Solomon's Key. It's Super Dodgeball, and it's that Zelda ROM hack, right?
No, it's NES Open Tournament Golf is the third one.
Oh, okay.
But yes, Solomon Key and Super Dodgeball.
Super
Solomon's
Dodgeball's
Key is a
solid
good game. Super Dodgeball is a good game.
I never
Uh,
played Solomon's Key.
It's good. It's a good ass like puzzle platformer thing. With some weird hidden shit.
And
If you play it right.
And yes, also as you said, what they describe as special save data for Zelda,
Yeah,
which is basically just a loaded out save game.
it's a hacked save.
Is
game.
it so? Is it hacked or is it just like is it stuff you couldn't conceivably have in a normal run?
It's a save state. So you start the game at the beginning, but you have all the shit.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Like, there's no natural way to achieve
No.
this. Okay,
No.
so this is essentially
and
kind of a hack.
It sounds like someone wrote in or got at me about this stuff last week, I think, and it sounds like it like bypasses the title screen and all this other stuff
Huh.
in a way that's very much like it's a save state hacked together to
Okay.
give you all this gear.
So it says you have the white sword, the magical shield, the blue ring, the power bracelet, a bunch of rupees.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the game. So
Maybe I'll finally beat The Legend of Zelda.
You don't need like you get that stuff along the way for a reason. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some stuff in the Legend of Zelda that can be a grind.
Yeah,
like
but
some
I
of the
don't
some of the
wanna-
rings are expensive,
I
right?
don't want to
But
do it.
yeah, all right. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever finished that game either.
What?
Maybe I should do that.
Oh, I
Shit.
forgot.
You know what happened last time I said out loud that I hadn't finished an NES game?
I'm still gonna make you play Super Mario Brothers 2 because I want to watch that video
All right.
by sitting in
Yeah.
on that video.
Yeah.
So
Keep that one in our back
I will-
pockets for when we really need it.
Is it
bring in my Famicom disk system and we're gonna fucking do it.
is it too late to talk about a game really, really quick?
What's the game?
Assassin's Creed Origins, real quick.
Origins?
No,
Odyssey?
Odyssey. Fucking man, I have not played a video game that does not respect my time as much as that video game in a long time, and I'm not having a good time with it.
Yeah, and
oh
you
my
liked Origins
God,
a lot.
I loved Origins.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite games that year, and this game is just. I saw somebody tweet that they were 36 hours into the game and level like 22.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not even hitting a level an hour. Like
Well, that's a meaningless number to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Unless,
here's for reference, the cap is 50.
Yeah.
And they spent 36 hours in the game. So you imagine that's going to be, 100 hours before you hit 50?
I guess, but like, what are you doing along the way?
Well, it matters
Like,
because
that's
they
the-
gate content against your level.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
and
bad,
and
then.
powers and just like the stuff that actually makes you feel good in that game. And but you could just pay $5 for an XP doubler if you'd like, and that wouldn't even be a problem.
No, I'm all right.
Fuck, man. Fuck this.
I
Fuck.
think that's the thing. People like there are some people out there that, there was some reaction around launch about like the idea of like, hey, this game is too long, and people going like, too long? That's never a problem. It's like no, it's
they
like,
have padded it out.
If it was that's the thing. If it was that long and awesome front to back,
yeah,
that'd be fucking game of the year material. You'd be like, holy shit, this game's 100 hours and incredible. But if it's 100 hours and like, a full third to a half of it
and
is
some of it's
monotonous
incredible, but
stuff,
God,
then
fuck,
then
man.
that's a problem.
Fuck. That's all I
Um,
wanted to say.
All right.
Yeah, Alex basically said all that stuff in his review.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's up in the Giant Bomb Presents feed. We're gonna have to start a new feed for those here pretty soon. We get a couple more of those reviews under our belt in podcast form.
Yeah.
If you haven't
We'll
checked out the
spin that
Giant
out.
Bomb Presents feed, and there's a lot of throw a lot of interesting stuff in
Some
there.
Fun stuff in there.
Yes.
Might put something weird in there soon.
Oh.
Maybe.
That's
it.
Okay.
Oh,
Good to know. I put a review of actually Jan put the file in there, but there is a review of Forsaken, the Destiny 2 expansion in there from last week, in which we complained about the fact that you have to buy all of the previous DLC
yeah.
to play Forsaken. Starting today, I believe.
Oh, are you serious?
Where is it?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Starting today,
No!
that is no longer the case.
Fuck!
Why?
Purchases of Forsaken will come with that DLC.
I bought all that DLC.
Wait. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Nah.
What?
I'm 100% sure you already had it.
No, because
Warmind
I
and
didn't buy any of that stuff because I was gonna check out Forsaken, and you told me I had to get the DLC from
No.
before.
No, I didn't.
We were sitting at the desk.
None of this took
What?
place. I don't know.
You told,
I
you
don't
told
know
me,
what you're talking
You told
about.
me I had to buy all the other stuff, and you're
I didn't
like,
say
and then
you
there's a
did.
boost.
We're talking about Destiny.
Yeah.
This
What?
this did not happen.
Yes, it did. Like 3 weeks ago, before you reviewed it, because we were talking about
Are
it.
you sure
and-
that you didn't already own it? Because they did send us multiple copies of Destiny.
That's what
that
I'm getting
included
at.
The expansion.
That's what I'm getting at. Is that the review codes we got last year had all that DLC in it.
bought something?
So you
bought
couldn't-
you. There are ways to buy it even if you already owned it because
Yes.
PSN doesn't always.
Yeah, because I bought it
acknowledge
through the
different
online store
bundles.
after you told me that I needed all the other.
But if it's already on your account, you wouldn't even be able to pay money for it. It
No,
would
that's
just show
not
up
true.
as-
There are definitely cases where like a bundle will show up. Like there are multiple ways to buy a thing, and you can buy a thing twice because it doesn't always respect
Okay.
that ownership, and it won't always say
Sure.
purchased.
Sure.
So you could have very well bought it. You didn't actually need to because the copies of the game we got at launch were like the deluxe edition that came with that stuff. So you got double.
Continue.
Well, you're in luck. Because anybody who did buy that DLC before this change went into effect is getting a bundle of stuff. Such
I
as
didn't even play it.
a couple of emotes,
Good work.
a shader. It's 2 emotes, a shader, an emblem, and a bundle of consumables.
All right.
That's what you get if you bought that
One of the
DLC.
emotes is a
What a-
coin toss,
Okay.
and they're not going to sell those in the paid store until
It's
later.
fitting because I was also tossing away money.
The other emote is a knife trick, which is, to be fair, is pretty good.
Like
All
the
right.
stab your.
It's not animated. It's just they just show the
This-
icon here, but
the
it's
knife
It
game?
couldn't be because there's well, I guess it could spawn a table. Some of those emotes. Spawn
the
all
knife
kinds
is
of
in
dumb
the
shit.
knife is in the air, so it's probably going to be some kind of
Oh, you're
knife
like-
throwing.
like
Maybe it's
what
like
if it
some
was a
butterfly
situation
knife
knife?
stuff.
Yeah.
What if it was like that video on
Yeah.
YouTube with the dude with the knife and the girl with the dance?
sword?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Artie and whatever his name is. song.
Seems a
Grandma's
little
there?
thin. Seems a little thin as a make good. I'm
Well-
not sure. I'm not sure how much that DLC cost at the time. People would have been buying it to play Forsaken
Any idea? How's it?
15 or 20?
Yeah.
for both.
each. I want to say
Because when they launched, they were 20 each.
Yeah, I don't think
so. That would have been $40 for those, but I don't
because they put base Destiny 2 on PlayStation Plus,
right?
Which always seemed like a way to be like, hey, you should buy the DLC
totally.
and
Forsaken. Yeah, so I assume they made this change because they did not see the conversions from that free PS Plus copy of the game to the later DLC that they wanted.
Let's take away this barrier
to
make it easier for people to get into Forsaken.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that seems like what is going on here. But enjoy your knife trick.
I can't wait. I love Destiny.
Just wanted to put that out there. That expansion is very good.
I do want to play it.
It's the best Destiny has been in a very long time. This week, well, it's you're not high enough level, but there's basically a 3-man raid, like a mini raid, that's only available once a month. Have you heard about this?
No.
Like it's up again this week, and I'm actually high enough level to do it now.
Cool.
Like it's higher level than the actual raid.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So I was not powerful enough to do it, and there's like unique exotic weapons in there and stuff.
Exotic weapons.
Yeah, they're doing cool stuff over time.
Yeah.
With timed events and the Halloween thing launches today, and there's like a murder mystery.
Like, is it Who Killed Cade?
No,
I know.
No, somebody else died.
Oh.
The cryptarch from the Reef died. Somebody knifed him.
All right.
Somebody shivved him.
Well, I've got a knife trick I can show you.
As long as Tess Everest is okay.
She'll always be fine.
Yeah. She serves a very key purpose in that universe.
She has microtransaction armor.
Yeah.
She has an aura of protection around her. Last story I've got. There's a fair hubbub going around right now about an interview that Dan Houser gave to Harold Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. The interview ran Sunday, I want to say. Does that sound right?
I think it hit over the weekend.
Yeah, it's been up for
that sounds right.
A couple, 3 days maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, there is a moment when Dan Houser essentially says, "Hey, yeah, we've been working 100-hour weeks getting this game done."
Mm-hmm.
And given the current climate and discussion around labor practices in the game industry, this has not gone down well, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, they had to then issue like a follow-up statement to try to backpedal away from this and say like, "Oh, we meant just the writing team. That's how we love to work."
Yeah. I've got that statement here if you want to hear it, but you pretty much just summarized it.
Likewise, we've on the other side of the coin, we've seen plenty of people coming out and telling stories of working in other studios or even Rockstar that kind of line up with it. Like whenever a story like this breaks, there's always a few people who are willing to come out and like talk about it.
Yeah, I saw some scuttlebutt about similar stuff, some references to kind of tweets in that vein about Rockstar, but they had been deleted, so I didn't see anything firsthand.
Yeah, that's
I feel like the story just keeps coming up over and over. I pulled this off Polygon, and they mentioned Naughty Dog and CD Projekt Red have also kind of been in this hot seat,
right,
over the last year or two.
And Rockstar's been in this position before.
Yeah, Telltale
with
obviously.
Red Dead.
Telltale is a huge one recently.
Yeah,
where people were pulling crazy hours.
It sucks.
Crunch still happens everywhere, and it's still bad.
Not everywhere.
Well, not everywhere.
But
you're right.
like more and more teams are at least acknowledging that it's not the ideal.
Yeah. Everywhere is maybe a broad brush to paint with, but it is very widespread. Like, I guess, more to the point, like we mentioned, when did we do that game tapes a couple weeks ago? And like I mentioned EA Spouse in the middle of that thing.
Right.
Like that is an old enough event that it is tied into game tapes we're looking at from 12 years ago.
Exactly.
And yet.
When was the Rockstar Spouse? That was LA Noire, wasn't it? Or was that Red Dead?
I think that was Red Dead.
Okay.
The first one.
And, it's not hard to find. Well, yeah, people get out of places, they want to talk about their time there, or people know someone who's at a studio, or people interview at a studio and hear things. And, there's been loose talk about the development of this Red Dead game for years, about them crunching a long time ago, and all this sort of stuff. So I can't say with definitive certainty that that's how it was, but because it's secondhand sources and that sort of stuff. But there's a lot of people talking about maybe working on that game has not been the best of fun, or the best time, whatever.
It really sucks when it's people who have families who don't want to be, first of all, unpaid overtime,
Well, I guess we don't know. Yeah, we don't.
I don't
want
to say specifically for
unpaid
for
or
this
Rockstar,
like but there are instances of people telling stories about being kind of not forced but soft forced.
Definitely, yeah.
To be like, you're not part of the team if you're not staying late, that sort of stuff.
You get that culture, that crunch culture, the peer pressure around it is totally real.
And I've worked jobs like in and around tech that are the same way. I've heard horror stories about like animation studios and just all industries have this. What really, really sucks to me more than anything are the people who just, as soon as they hear a story like this, they just get into defense mode. To defend the studios blindly. I understand like that, you know, it's easy to feel like this is like encouragement of like, okay, well, we need to change the way that video games are made and it's going to affect your games and stuff like that. But it just sucks that there can't be just a level of compassion or empathy for these people who just want to make video games. They just want to make the shit that you like because they like it too, right? I mean, a lot of people get into games because they want to make games. They love games.
Yeah, the Telltale situation was the most egregious example of that because, like, the instant that stuff went down, a bunch of people were just raging about the fact that the rest of the games were not going to get made.
Yeah.
And basically said, like, what the hell, get back to work and make my game.
Yeah, you know,
the Telltale stuff was then further complicated because there were people who had purchased a season pass. And the people in the studio was on the hook for it.
Yes, that is
taking
fair.
a run at the individuals.
Yes.
Just after they got laid off to say, but I paid for those other episodes. Let's just call it a bad look and move on.
I mean, in that specific case with like the rapid loss of healthcare and stuff that happened around that, there was a pretty tremendous lack of empathy from some people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I should.
It's a hard. Yeah. But to that end, I do think that like the culture of work and career, I think a lot of that needs to change. It's bigger than games. Obviously, you know, we hear about it a lot in games because it can be a very deadline focused job. And you're all pushing to this one deadline.
Yep.
And
also like there's no unionization at all in games, really.
Yeah. So
to other industries.
very little protections for people from that sort of stuff, and that's a problem. But the solutions are so complicated. Yeah, I mean, unionization is probably the way to go in this to give these workers protections that prevent studios from doing this. You know,
I guess I should.
Some of these games are very big. They will go on to make hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And maybe those people get bonused out in a way that they feel okay about it in the end. You know, maybe they come out at the other end going like, I worked on this big thing that shipped and now I can write my own ticket and work anywhere I want.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's all fine and good, but at the same time, people shouldn't be peer pressured or forced into this. The statement is them saying like, oh, we never forced anyone to work 100-hour weeks.
I should actually read some of the statement. I'll just read the whole thing. There seems to be some confusion arising. This is Dan Hauser from my interview with Harold Goldberg. The point I was trying to make in the article was related to how the narrative and dialogue in the game was crafted, which was mostly what we talked about, not about the different processes of the wider team. After working on the game for 7 years, the senior writing team, which consists of 4 people, and myself, had, as we always do, 3 weeks of intense work where we wrapped everything up. 3 weeks, not years. We have all worked together for at least 12 years now and feel we need this to get everything finished. After so many years of getting things organized and ready on this project, we needed this to check and finalize everything. More importantly, we obviously don't expect anyone else to work this way. Across the whole company, we have some senior people who work very hard purely because they're passionate about a project or their particular work, and we believe that passion shows in the games we release. But that additional effort is a choice, and we don't ask or expect anyone to work anything like this.
Because they can't legally ask anyone to work like that.
Lots of other senior people work in an entirely different way and are just as productive. I'm just not one of them. No one, senior or junior, is ever forced to work hard.
That's weird.
That sounds great. Let's go.
I believe we go to great lengths to run a business that cares about its people and to make the company a great place for them to work. Like I said, I've seen talk about some people coming out and maybe rebutting this, but I haven't seen any of those actual comments in public. So
I'm
not sure what the other side of the story is here.
I mean, I look at this and go and think like, man, considering that Rockstar has been under the gun for this type of stuff in the past, imagine like imagine still going into this interview and uttering the phrase 100-hour work weeks without immediately contextualizing it, or and he said maybe that it got swept up into some larger comments, but how do you even say that out loud in the first place? A company like that seems like they're pretty buttoned up about their messaging most of the time, so it seems like pretty wild for those words to even exit his mouth to begin with. That's surprising. Again, considering the history with some of this stuff and some of the accusations that have been flung Rockstar's way over this exact thing in the past. Like that, there's a lack of awareness when you make comments like that. But again, maybe that's unfair. Maybe that the way the interview went down or whatever. Context is everything, I guess.
Right.
But that still, man, yeah, I don't know. It's not hard to find people in and around this business who have bad things to say about their time at Rockstar. That's a pretty easy, getting them to say it on the record. Very different thing. But you hear a lot of stories from people who got out of there, from people who, interviewed all this other stuff. Like, it doesn't sound amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
I I typed EA Spouse into Google. It's not hard to find, but the original post is still up. Like it's still on LiveJournal, which is somewhat surprising. But almost 14 years to the day, November 10th, 2004. Which I maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that was the first really big.
I mean, it got its own name.
Yeah, like I don't remember a lot of discussion about. I mean, obviously Crunch existed and people.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah.
But I don't remember it being like a big sort of hot button issue before that. Point being, it's been 14 years, and I feel like most of the same conversations are still being had. I don't feel like there's been a lot of movement.
It seems like the only thing that has changed is that there's maybe a little more awareness about it, but I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know that it's changed dramatically.
Yeah.
But again, that's going to be team to team and studio to studio and all this other stuff. Like everyone's going to have their different ways that they tackle these problems and how they scope their games and all this other stuff. So I don't know how every studio works, so I can't say one way or the other.
Yeah, indeed. All right, that's going to do it for news. Let's take one more break and then come back and read the emails.
E-commerce functionality.
What does the E stand for?
Awesome.
I see.
That's right.
Huh.
It's everywhere.
You're so excited you can't get your words out.
No, definitely. Why? I'm going nuts over here about all this e-commerce because I need new e-commerce solutions.
You've got E's to sell.
That's right. I've got a lot of E to sell, but I don't have a lot of skills when it comes to building things on the internet.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm in luck, because Squarespace exists.
Oh.
That's right.
And what are they going to do for you?
They're going to turn my dream into a reality, is what they're going to do.
What kind of dreams are we talking?
I've got a lot of dreams. I've got street dreams. I've got sweet dreams.
You've got dream product to move?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I've got this dreamy product that I'm trying to get out to the folks, to get all the schools. Mm-hmm. Whether you're looking to start a new business, showcase your work, publish content, sell products, and more, Squarespace is the tool for you. And they've got beautiful templates created by world-class designers. You can customize just about anything with a few clicks, and you can easily make a beautiful website all by yourself.
But just you.
That's right. Just me.
Yeah.
And, if you want to sell something, you can with powerful e-commerce functionality. You can sell anything online. Analytics even will help you grow your site in real time.
Grow your site, huh?
Oh, yeah. You got to grow. Yeah. We got a powerful grow op that we're growing these websites.
Yep. Right up out of the ground.
No, they're just, no, it's not out of the ground per se, but we got a setup.
Okay.
Because everything is optimized for mobile right out of the box, and there's nothing to patch or upgrade ever.
Oh, wow.
Ever.
Yeah. That's a long time.
That is a very long time. Buying domains is simple. You'll get all the help you need right there with Squarespace's 24/7 award-winning customer support.
Friendly faces helping you out?
That's right. They'll chat with you whenever you need it.
Maybe you won't see their face, but
I don't know that you will.
But you can imagine that they're smiling.
You can imagine the smiling face of Squarespace smiling upon you as you embark on a new journey onto the Infobahn.
That sounds scary.
The information superhighway.
I need some help.
They're there 24/7.
Okay.
They're ready for you.
Okay.
And don't worry, Squarespace empowers millions of people in all walks of life. Designers, lawyers, artists, restaurants, gyms.
Gyms?
Gyms are people now.
Wait, what?
James.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Jimothy.
Yes.
And you can turn your great ideas into something real. Head on over to squarespace.com/bombcast and you can get a free trial going right now. And when you're ready to launch that site, use the offer code BOMBCAST and you'll save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
It's like 10% plus 90 is 100.
That is so true. That is so true. Wow. That's squarespace.com/bombcast and the offer code is BOMBCAST.
Emails.
Oh.
Oh!
Wow.
Well,
Emails!
Ben likes the emails.
Podcastgiantbomb.com. Man,
That's okay.
I love letters.
it's an email party in here.
What's your favorite letter?
C,
What's your second favorite letter?
R,
What's your third favorite letter?
A,
What's your fourth?
P.
Huh.
Okay, then.
Okay.
You have crappy taste in letters. Sage from Bozeman, Montana. I recently moved into a new place and started a new job, so my dog has been naturally having to adjust to new surroundings, my being gone most of the day, etc. I've heard from some secondhand sources that dogs with a tendency to bark and get agitated when left alone like to hear voices or music or TV.
Mm-hmm.
So running through the things I would prefer to leave on throughout the day, and who has a radio anymore, I landed on Giant Bomb Infinite. The first day I arrived home after this experiment, I was greeted by the sounds of Hitsmas and the sight of my dog on my table sleeping on the laptop's keyboard. Now I have to leave it on at night when he sleeps in the other room or he whimpers. Please never shut Infinite down.
Okay.
That's right. You heard it here first. In giantbomb.com/infinite. Is that our?
Yeah. Yeah.
Giantbomb.com/infinite, #1 dog training tool out there.
That's
and
right.
it's free.
It is not yet
It's
free.
not
it
yet.
is,
It's in beta.
It's in beta.
It's free if you're a premium.
It's in free if you
subscriber.
go look for it on Twitch and find it there. But we'll be rolling that out pretty soon here.
Yeah.
Or taking it from behind the it'll be
We should record
out there with the redesign.
We should
so-
record a video called "We Talk to Your Dog" to add into the Giant Bomb Infinite
Okay,
rotation.
yeah, we
That's
can do
just
that.
like, who's a good boy? You're a good boy.
Okay. We can shoot that this
right,
week.
great.
Get it in the rotation. I still have some bumpers that I need to produce
Yeah.
from some video I shot when I went to the aquarium.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
I shot a video of somebody wearing a big dog's jumper while Who Let the Dogs Out plays, and they're having their dog do tricks. Can we use that?
Might have to change the music on it.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
What if it's just me singing Who Let the Dogs Out?
That's probably okay.
Yeah, if we do a cover of Who Let the Dogs Out, that's
I mean,
fine,
We
right?
probably still have to give some kind of money to the Baja
the
Men.
Baja Men.
Yeah.
Wherever they are.
I woke up with a Baja Men song stuck in my head 2 days ago, and it wasn't Who Let the Dogs Out.
Lime in the Coconut.
No, Best Days of Our Lives.
Oh, that's a good one.
Off the Shrek soundtrack.
Yeah, of course. The banger from the Shrek soundtrack.
It's a solid soundtrack, man.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
No,
Are
yeah.
you just saying that you just want to listen to nothing but the Shrek soundtrack for the rest of your life and just like listen to that on
I
loop?
mean, it's got Best Days of Our Lives,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, Smash Mouth.
Mhm.
Like, what else do you need?
It has an Eddie Murphy song.
Oh God, that's right.
Is it Boogie in the Butt?
No,
Oh.
it's not the good Eddie Murphy song.
Is it Party All the Time?
No, it's not the other good Eddie Murphy song.
Fuck.
Nick from Columbia, Missouri. What are your thoughts on putting bacon in oatmeal? I grew up with this and thought nothing of it until being told that I was gross for putting bacon in my oatmeal. Sweet and savory, it makes sense.
You just
to
wanted
me.
to talk about savory oatmeal again, didn't you?
Well, he's not talking about savory oatmeal. He just said sweet and savory. He's putting bacon in regular, like, let's say, maple or brown sugar type oatmeal.
Who was it?
I could
that
see it.
Suggested putting a fried egg in oatmeal.
Me.
Okay, yeah,
But
I started
that's-
doing that.
But that's if you're making the savory.
How'd that work out?
I enjoy it. I normally eat oatmeal plain as is.
Okay, oh, you don't
Great.
put sugar in it.
No,
Yeah.
nothing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now
And
you
that
can-
egg was great.
Yeah, hell yeah. Now you can start throwing like some scallions and some cheddar cheese in there.
Like some blueberries and some almonds in my oatmeal.
It's a little too sweet in the morning for me.
Yeah. I mean, eating like sugary breakfast is bad if you're trying to like keep your weight in check. In general, it's just not a good time to be eating a bunch of sugar. So, I put chicken stock in my oatmeal.
Ooh.
That's good. Oh, it's fantastic.
Never put coffee. I've tried that once. It was a terrible idea.
That doesn't sound like it'd be good.
Never
No.
put top ramen flavor packets either.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, if it's a sweet oatmeal,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. No, that's
like a berries and cream with a little.
Oh yeah, don't do
Oriental
that. Why
flavor.
would no? What? That's
I'm
were you high?
no, I was a teen.
Okay, no, all right,
I'm actually
same thing.
I'm in a bad way right now because a large study came out showing that like like most commercial oatmeal has like dangerous levels of carcinogenic pesticides in it.
Wonderful.
Mm.
Ah, the
I
good
haven't-
shit.
I have not had oatmeal in a couple months since that happened, and I'm super bummed about it. There's like one brand that passed the test, and now I have to find it.
I mean, isn't bacon? No, it's red meat, not bacon. I was gonna say
Yes, red meat is also
Good.
yes,
Yeah.
and also bad.
I would rather just have my bacon on the side.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see it though. I mean, you know, like the whole bacon and like maple syrup thing,
especially 'cause
quite popular.
I like my bacon like extra crispy,
Mhm.
just like melt in your mouth crispy almost.
What if you took like Bacos
Mm.
or maybe real
Yeah.
bacon bits and just sprinkled them over the oatmeal?
But then I lose like when I eat bacon, I want a mouthful of bacon. That's kind of
Okay.
my like I want
Yeah.
to crunch into it.
Yeah,
When I
you know?
when I was a kid, I would go in the refrigerator when nobody was looking and just eat a big handful of Bacos.
Yeah, me too. It's good shit.
It's terrible.
monsters.
It's like giant salt crystals.
Yeah. Email from Dan. It seems there's a documentary about Jeff Minter in the works,
Cool.
looking at his history as well as the influence he and Llamasoft have had on the industry over the last 37 years.
Wow.
Jeff seems like a perfect candidate for a retrospective like this. My question to you, are there any other ever-present gaming luminaries that you think would make good documentary fodder as well?
Richard Garriott.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, actually, it's a weird coincidence that you said that because this email also made me think about this. Ars Technica has this thing, I think they call it War Stories, just a little like short like YouTube playlist that they have where they talk to like old school designers. They have Richard Garriott on there talking about like, do you know there was a functioning ecosystem in Ultima Online when it launched?
No.
You should watch this video. So they grew foliage in the game, like foliage grew on a cycle. The herbivores would eat it and multiply based on how much they ate.
Mm-hmm.
The predators would eat the herbivores, and like it was all a functioning
Yeah.
dynamic system
Yeah.
where like everything would reach a balance basically. And within like the first day of launching the game, like the player base just slaughtered every animal in existence and like destroyed the ecosystem.
There you
I
go.
think that says a lot.
So I mean, I pretty much just gave away that whole video, but
But that's video
they-
games.
they
Like,
had to-
they gave everyone swords. What the fuck are you gonna do with it? Bake bread?
like they
It's life, man.
explicitly
Yeah.
said like, hey, the rewards for killing the herbivores were nil. Like there was no reason to kill them. Like predators, like the pelts that they dropped were very valuable. So we thought like people would be at the top of the food chain killing the
Ugh.
predators, and the predators would subsist on. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it would
of
reach a
course.
balance.
No, yeah, that's. Yeah.
But instead, they had to just disable the system because people ruined it by just slaughtering everything in sight.
yeah, well, yeah.
Anyway, there's a Richard Garriott story for you. I don't know who else would be.
I think Sid Meier would also be cool.
Yeah, sure.
That's
See
a good
that?
one.
He says this Minter documentary is called Heart of Neon. Have you heard anything about it?
Just the name.
It was very. You have heard the name. It was
Yeah.
really hard to track any info down on this thing. I found like one forum post on like a UK retro game forum talking about it, but nothing super official.
Huh. Yeah.
So
I
I'm
don't know.
not sure where that's coming from.
I don't know. I get all my Jeff Minter news by following him on Twitter.
Yeah, same.
Which is
Like if you want to know when he's in the curry house.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how's this curry doing?
I feel like he has not been in the curry house.
Oh, he was in there a couple days ago.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
saw it
yeah.
recently.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's still living his life.
I started making my own curries.
How's it going?
It's a process.
Yeah.
Finding that balance, but
Like, were you making them too hot? To you just like
yeah, it's the
honing it
spice
in,
mix.
dialing it in?
Yeah.
Indian curry, Japanese curry.
Thai so far with like a
Okay.
coconut milk base.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Email from Andrew. Last week on the Bombcast, Jan mentioned taking the guise of a hippo in Hitman 2 during a mission taking place in a South American drug cartel setting.
As you do.
Jeff speculated that hippos were native to South America, which is not true. The truth is actually much more interesting. The hippopotamus is native to Africa, but there are an unknown number of hippos roaming the Colombian wilds. They ended up on another continent thanks to the efforts of one Pablo Escobar, cocaine smuggler extraordinaire.
Do you fill the hippos full of cocaine?
He built a private zoo on his ranch between Bogota and Medellin and smuggled in exotic animals to fill it, including 4 hippos. After the cartel was shut down, the zoo was abandoned and the hippos left to do what hippos do, multiply. Estimates from 2014 say there are between 50 and 60 animals in Colombia, most in the remains of the zoo, though several have escaped into the wilderness, free to roam the tropical South American paradise and terrorize Colombian natives.
Great.
Imagine like never seeing a hippo in real life before. You're like living in Colombia or whatever.
Right.
You've seen like pictures and
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a kid and stuff. Just one day he's charged out of the forest, a fucking adult hippo.
Yeah, just a full-on hippo.
Hyped up on cocaine.
That's right.
Yeah.
Coke the fuck up. Pissed. Planning to solve all the world's problems.
And hungry.
And start a business.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just thought of this, I guess because you keep talking about cocaine, but Gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw somebody on Twitter recently describe Gritty as looking like he had just done a pillowcase full of cocaine.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
I like Gritty.
Gritty's pretty awesome.
Hippos, man. Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a hippo in person. I don't think I have.
I think I did at the zoo.
I don't think I've been to a zoo since I was younger than 10 or
Yeah.
something, like I can't even remember the last time I was at a zoo.
Maybe it's time, Jeff.
Yeah.
You went to an aquarium recently.
Hippo time.
It's hippo time.
Can I see a hippo in this town? This is a
Yeah.
zoo here.
That
Oakland Zoo.
is-
Yeah.
Oakland Zoo, you can see a
Oakland
hippo
Zoo?
for sure.
They got a hippo?
Yeah.
I've never been to the Oakland Zoo.
It's nice. They have not a zip line. What's a tram thing, but in the
Oh, like
sky?
a monorail? Like
Monorail?
a sky
No.
sky.
It's like a gondola thing.
Uh-huh.
I forget
People
what it's
mover?
called.
Sky
Yeah.
train.
Yes.
Ski
One
lift?
of those. It's kind of like a ski lift.
It goes over the animals.
Yeah. You get to
Can you jump
wave
out?
to the giraffes. No, you can't jump out.
Where we
I mean,
dropping?
you-
Where we
Have you
dropping?
tried?
I haven't tried.
Can we set a battle royale in a zoo?
We're going to Turtle Towers.
All right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man,
Tilted turtles.
that's a dangerous idea.
Hippo Haven.
People would just kill all the animals.
Giraffe Gaff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a gaff isn't a physical location.
Simon,
Crocodile concubine.
That's also not
also
a
not a
location.
location.
I mean, it's a thing though, but like you could be
Yeah.
like, oh, that's the
Yeah, okay.
All
All right, yeah.
where the crocs fuck.
Crocodile Mile.
Okay.
Simon in Seattle. If there was an Xbox 360 Mini, what version of the interface would it use? I'd hope for the blades.
Yeah, if you were doing something that was like deliberately classic in nature, you would probably
It has to be the blades,
evoke
right?
the blades.
Yeah. I don't
Be
feel
careful when invoking
Yeah.
the blades, though.
Yeah.
I don't
Thunderbolt Fantasy.
I don't feel like those other dashboards are nearly like, I don't know, what's the word, iconic enough?
Memorable.
Memorable.
Yeah. I don't.
They're just kind of generic.
I can't remember. I remember the dark colored pop up with the fake blades there, but I can't even remember what the Xbox 360 looks like right now. But I do remember those blades.
Blades are from the dumb era of the 360.
Yeah, they were not good. They're like they were
Blade, it's like the attitude era of the 360.
yeah. The blades were holding up a sign in the crowd that said something rude.
Yeah. Jim from LA. I noticed that both IGN and Kotaku and possibly others are reviewing Call of Duty Black Ops 4 as 3 separate games. While I think this is sort of a novel idea, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me since you can't buy the games separately. Is this a sign that reviews are more completely transitioning to an art critic zone and abandoning the Consumer Reports mindset? Also, will they be broken off and sold separately at some point? That's a lot of question.
That is, I think, the difference between like the product review and actual criticism is a real one. I think people are experimenting with formats and
Yeah.
trying to find things that people want out of a game review in this
good.
day and age.
It's good to see a lot of big outlets trying stuff.
Yeah.
Especially one like IGN that's been doing things the same way for so long.
Right.
It's probably good for like numbers if you have 3
4
different
articles, because they'll have one that summarizes them, presumably.
Yeah.
They are still giving a score.
Yeah, I did see IGN is going to have one score for the whole product,
Right.
if you want that. So
Yeah, it's I think Call of Duty, different people come to that game for different reasons.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to make your for example, like I more or less know, unless they make dramatic changes to it, like I'm probably not there for the zombies mode.
Mm-hmm.
So any review of that element of the game is not going to factor heavily in my purchasing decision. So something that's like a little more focused down and gets into the nitty gritty of the competitive multiplayer might be more useful.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I think it's good as long as it's not just like typically here's our long review, here's 2 paragraphs about the zombies, here's 2 paragraphs about the normal, and as long as it's just not those 2 paragraphs each in their own article, as long as it's like each one is a full review.
You would hope that it would be like meteor coverage at that point, but
that I'm into
depending.
that. Like I'm somebody who, like, let's say when I go out to a restaurant, I go onto Yelp and I read reviews for specific dishes just ahead of time, like know exactly what I want when I get there.
It's like, you got a good shrimp cocktail here or what?
Yeah, exactly. And so approaching a video game the same way I could see as like a really interesting proposition.
Yeah, I think, like more information, that's fine.
Yeah.
Sure. But yes, do I think that they will split it out and sell it separately? I don't know. That's the thing I've been thinking about a lot with the Blackout mode. Because like Battle Royale games are just meant to be like, hey, we're going to add on this map, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But like, are they just going to sell another game next year and be like, oh, this is a totally separate player base with a different map and different progression and all this other stuff? Like, what do they do there?
Did you ever see them doing a thing where they make Blackout free and they have like a battle pass?
Yeah. I could see them experimenting with that. Sure.
Mm.
And I think that's probably what they should do over time, is to split off the Battle Royale stuff so that they can...
They should just have
Update
something
it.
called Call of Duty Blackout. That's like a platform for that Battle Royale that they can update.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
just like a side game or whatever.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And then they put more maps into that. But the thing they run into there is like, if that takes off too well, next year they're still going to put out a game. Does it hurt the sales of that game if they're updating Blackout too much? And do they care? Where are they going to make most of their money? There was this, the sales stuff is still hazy, but Activision came out and said that this was their biggest digital launch ever in company history. And then that got married with numbers out of the UK, because that's the only place that like has like fast and accurate retail numbers, saying that the numbers at retail were low. Which you could look at that and go like, oh, well, that's a transition. Obviously, like, people are transitioning to digital,
Especially for an online-only game.
Especially for an online-only game. Like, yeah, no single-player campaign. Like, the disc is not going to be useful anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of different factors that could lead to that sort of stuff. But it got me thinking, like, yeah, like, those games are platforms. I think we've been saying for years that, like, man, what if they just took the multiplayer and just put it out there, and just every year you give them X amount of dollars for that year's maps, or whatever rolling schedule they do, or however they get you microtransactions or a season pass every season, or whatever it is, and just eventually build that up to where it's like the ultimate Call of Duty multiplayer experience, instead of, I've got currently every Call of Duty game made for PS4 is installed on that PS4 right now.
Why?
Because I bought an external hard drive that can hold them all.
All right.
And because I played them all recently in the lead up to Black Ops 4 coming out.
Even Ghosts?
Even Ghosts. I just wanted to get a look at them and see what was up.
Is it easy to get a match in Ghosts?
Yeah, still
Really?
by people. I mean, there's a reason those games don't go on sale.
No.
It's because people will still buy them and play them. And
I played Call of Duty 2 years ago and found a match like pretty quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's something that they probably look at a bunch of charts and try to figure out. And as soon as they can make more money on microtransactions or some kind of free-to-play or seasonal model or something like that, where it does split it out, where they start making more money, once they think they can make more money on that than they can by selling discs, which, keep in mind, like, some versions of that game are $100.
Yeah. Also, I feel like it's going to be harder because there's not going to be a mobile version. And I feel like that's where PUBG and Fortnite make a shit ton of money.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, PUBG is like it's a separate thing. Like, Fortnite's the only one that's connected to the main game.
But that PUBG mobile thing is doing. It's always towards the top of the App Store. So
yeah, I played the thing a few times, and it just once I saw that most of them were bots out of the gate, I was like, this thing seems like a scam, and uninstalled it.
I know the Black Ops 4 Battle Pass stuff is just rumored and not announced, but would that be the first full-priced game to have something like that?
Well, no, because it's the season pass is your battle pass.
Oh, it's the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
You buy your Black Ops pass, which is what they're calling the season pass.
I thought you were saying that was going to be a separate purchase in like a month or two from now.
I mean, it seems like that's just designed to drive people to their overall season pass, but I don't know. And so I want to see, like, what do they do with it a year from now? Do they keep updating this? Because, like, think about Fortnite. The part of the reason Fortnite is still going to continue to be successful for some time to come is because they can rapidly iterate on it.
Yeah, they got those seasons every couple months, and they just have huge changes to the maps, the items.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I feel like that's like every game, or it's about to be.
And that's the thing, is I feel like it's about to be, in especially in directly analogous cases like this, where it's like, hey, they've got a battle royale game, like if they really want to do that right, then yeah, they should probably spin it out. Yeah, they should probably have a team that's like treating it like a live game and just
they
like
should
updating
probably
the
do
shit out of it.
What Fortnite did and have a team that's just like on the Reddit all day responding to people being like, that's a good idea, and just like, you know, in there, because I remember that was one of the early things that kind of set Fortnite apart, was they were just paying attention to every conversation, and they were helping control that message that way.
I do know that Treyarch's been out there a little bit more than maybe they were last time out, or just last year or whatever. Like, you definitely see like them on like posts from them on Reddit about, like, here's what we're aware of, here's what we're working on,
and
or even just saying like, here's a list of all the day one issues we're aware of. Like, you could use gestures, the emote system in Blackout, and it pulls it out to a third-person camera, so you could use a gesture to pull the camera out and look around corners and shit.
So you strategic dabbing.
Strategic dabbing, yeah. And there's no dab in that game yet.
Dab yet.
You know, it's inevitable, I guess.
They need to get
all games with emotes will eventually have that, and the Carlton and all that other shit, and eventually we will see a lawsuit about who can own a dance, and we will see some sort of Lord of the Dance emerge.
Who gets flossing?
Fortnite.
But like, did Fortnite invent flossing, or did flossing exist before Fortnite?
Invented.
So,
and he was in the celebrity tournament.
Wait,
so
are you trying to?
So they probably already paid him off.
You trying to say Michael Flatley's gonna start making video games?
Yeah, Michael Flatley's Fortnite is what that thing will be called by the time the lawsuits are done.
All right, good to know.
I don't think Backpack Kid invented it. He just popularized it. I want to go on record as saying I don't with 100% knowledge cannot say that Backpack Kid invented flossing. He just did it on SNL.
Well, so I guess that's my question, is like, at what point because, you know, like the Carlton is like clearly them doing a thing from a fucking TV show, and some games have even called it the Carlton. And I'm not a lawyer, but that seems like at some point someone steps up and goes, hey, that's from our TV show, which is owned by a fucking major media company like everything else, and we want our cut. We want a cut of your Carlton money, Destiny.
Yeah, our dance is protected under fair use.
Yeah. Fair use dance. Oh, it's actually like slight. You see, he bends the heel here.
It's a parody
it's a
of
totally
the
different.
It's artistic license.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's trite to point it out because we've been saying the phrase games as a service for like 3 years now or something.
Sure.
But, like, just seeing the transition happening is kind of eye opening.
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 4 was the big moment for me, where I sat down with that thing and said, "Oh, okay, this is where everything is going."
Right.
Timed missions, weekly resets and cycles.
Yeah.
Thanks, FIFA.
Rolling out seasonal events constantly.
Soccer ruined video games.
Yep.
Just like how it's ruining real sports.
That's right.
I guess the upside of it is that if you find the game you really like and they hit on a winning formula, you can kind of just keep playing the game you like forever.
I mean, that's the idea, is like they're going to kind of try to sell you skins for this game forever, instead of like having to come up with a whole new game. It's scary for people that are out there developing new games when they're like, oh, you know, it used to be like, oh, how are we going to pull anyone away from Minecraft ever? And now you got Fortnite doing it, you know, in a different way. Yeah, but, you know, at the same time, like, you know, Sony's single-player focused games have been very well received.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of really strong, like, indie games that, you know, are just like 8 to 10, 12-hour experiences that are like a little refreshing palate cleansers.
Yeah, so I think you'll have players, that there are probably people out there that only play Fortnite, and it's maybe one of the first games they ever got seriously into.
Yeah.
And because it's free, because it's very accessible, because it's something they can play anywhere. Of course they're going to stick to it.
Yeah,
the same way Minecraft or Roblox or any of this other shit.
People will go hard as hell on their chosen game.
Yeah,
given the opportunity.
And I think
sure.
that's I don't know.
There are people in that Destiny clan we're in that have 600 characters now.
Right.
Like it's just completely insane.
That's a lot of Destiny. I like the days of just bopping from game to game.
Yeah.
That was always how I played games, and
Now that I'm not playing Dota really anymore, it's just so like I sit down and I just look at my Steam library and I'm like, fuck, I have so many games I can just play.
That was ultimately the thing that got me out of Dota, was realizing how many other games I was missing. Or just how hard it is to keep up with stuff that's coming out when you play Dota constantly.
It's all the more time to get into Artifact.
I'm like fucking learning JavaScript because I have free time. I'm like,
nice fun stuff.
It is fun.
I don't think I'm ever going to put serious time into Artifact without a mobile version. Like, I just don't want to be tethered to a computer to play a game like that.
It seems like something they would eventually do.
I'm sure they'll get there, but
I play on my laptop, I figure.
Need a bus game.
Yeah.
Public transit game.
Like a Tokyo Bus Guide for Dreamcast?
Yes.
I got a bus game for
Oh?
you. Yeah. Like Crazy Bus?
Just talk later.
I've been playing Bloons on my phone. It's pretty fun. I like tower defense.
Actually, that is a good segue into this email from Levi in Richmond, British Columbia. Every major publisher seems to be angling to have at least one games as a service title in their lineup. Activision has Destiny, EA is bringing out Anthem, and Ubisoft has too many to count. While 2K and Rockstar already have GTA Online and soon Red Dead Online to fill that role, there's one more game that they've definitely got in development that I can't imagine won't be a game as a service: Borderlands 3. It's already built around a loot-based progression, and Borderlands 2's ending opened them up for a hypothetical Border Worlds game.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about this turn for the franchise, or would you prefer it stick to its roots?
It has to happen. Borderlands 2 should have been this.
Yeah.
They could have.
Yeah. They could
have done this.
They could have
before,
blazed the trail.
Yeah, like that coming out of Borderlands 1. My feeling was like, this needs to be.
That was kind of the rumor. Like people talked
like
about
Border Worlds.
Border Worlds was being
those
thrown
are
around.
old talk.
Yeah.
That's if they don't do that, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Because that seems like the game you have to make now.
Absolutely.
With that stuff, hey, they're making an action RPG. Really, first person shooter, role playing game.
Yeah.
Tons of color coded loot, all that other stuff. Like Borderlands 3 should absolutely be that game. Which then that's when you start getting into the stuff they didn't do in Borderlands 2 around like character customization and like better visual distinction between you and other characters.
What was there? Just like some sort of color?
You equip a shield, and so you pick a character, and that character is.
I know that's
what.
But I mean, once you pick the character, that's what I mean. Was it like you toggle like hair color and?
It's you would find basically, I think it was like full outfit color schemes.
Okay.
So you'd be like, oh, I found the blue one, and it's just a colored version, and like a different version of that skin.
So just like the most bare bones character customization you can imagine.
Yeah. There were some that I think maybe got slightly more outlandish, but not that much further, if I remember right. It's been a long time. I don't remember.
Like Borderlands 2, like had helped me refresh my memory. Like it was just kind of more of the first one, right?
Yeah.
Like
pretty much
in terms of the broad feature set.
And I think that's the thing that was partially disappointing about that game, is because coming out of Borderlands 1, you were like, man, okay, shield's fine, but you need armor. You need visually distinctive armor. I want to look at a character.
Holy crap! I forgot they didn't have armor.
because I want to look at a character and see what they have equipped. I want to look at a character and go, oh shit, you have the stuff from the raid. You have the stuff. You beat Cromorax 10 times.
Yeah.
Like whatever the fuck.
Like playing dress up in those games is a big part of the appeal.
And by sticking to these like defined characters that they had and these kind of set skins that maybe you'll drop and stuff like that. Like they failed to tap into any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And then on top of that was, it was pretty much just a 4-player game. Like, the drop in, drop out was cool.
Like there were no communal kind of social spaces, right?
No. And so like, I feel like at the time I was like, man, this needs to be Guild Wars. But now it's like, oh man, this needs to be like Destiny.
Yeah.
So yeah, if that game does finally come out, they announced Borderlands 2 VR.
Yeah.
Which that's okay. Sure.
I guess.
I'll
take a look at that. I don't know.
Like to see how the aiming works in that thing.
Yeah.
It looked like, did they only announce it for PSVR?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's out December, I think.
Yeah.
So it's not too far off.
Yep.
All
right.
But yes, Borderlands 3 needs to be that game even more than Borderlands 2 did. Like I don't if they don't take that opportunity to try to make this into something bigger, I'll be shocked.
Yeah. Okay, a couple more quick emails from Shane. Last week, when talking about Jan's trip and sticking food inside of French bread, I heard Ben say the phrase pizza pie, and this reminded me of a heated argument I've had with my friends from San Francisco. I'm from New York, but went to college in Northern California, and I've always referred to whole pizzas as a pizza pie. This is a common saying in New York, and all my friends from the West Coast claim to have never heard this phrase ever. If I were to ask you to order a pizza pie, would you understand what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but only because I'm, I would not be surprised if at some point that's an age thing.
Yeah.
Like,
What
the
if it
younger
was
you get, the less likely you
Yeah,
are to
maybe
have
so.
heard it.
What if it was understood we were ordering pizza and I asked you to order a pie?
Yeah,
How about then?
for sure.
Is pie an understood term in pizza nomenclature?
I feel like I picked it up from like media and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
like, hey, get a
New
pizza.
York-
Like it's
yeah, like
almost always
stereotypical
stereotypical New York
dude.
Italian, like
Brooklyn
original
ass.
Papa Vinny's.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a
Uh,
pie.
Yeah, but like only in an East Coast sense.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no one's talking that shit out here.
Yeah.
The fuck out of here with that shit.
Also, I would never like if somebody said, "Hey, what do you want for? I'm gonna order food. What do you want?" And they said a pie. I would know they don't want a fruit pie.
Still pretty
chicken
evident.
pot pie.
Why not?
Ooh, yeah, chicken pot pie is
Because
also a
where are
good
you
pie.
gonna get a delivery chicken pot pie?
Oh, man.
There's got to be a place.
No way.
There's got to be a place.
No way.
You could. There's got one of these services. You got to be able to
Yes.
call someone who shows up in a car with a sticker on it that has a chicken pot pie for you
Sure, but
in a way that is not acceptable to anyone involved. But
you're paying like $9 to get this chicken pot pie delivered.
is that too much for a chicken pot pie?
Well, no, on top of
Oh,
whatever
okay.
the
Yeah,
pot
yeah,
pie
yeah.
is gonna cost.
Question from Grant. I just bought an Xbox One X. Why is the dashboard still really slow and laggy?
That's a great question.
I would love to be able to answer that. That was like, no shit, the thing I was the most excited about when that thing came out was like, man, I hope the dashboard is way smoother now.
It's faster.
Is it?
It seems like
I
it.
don't know.
I feel like the my games and apps, which is really the slowest part for
Yeah.
me, enumerates slightly faster.
Yeah, I guess so. I still just, every time I turn that thing on, there's just a period of like a minute where just fucking straight up controller inputs are not reflected on the screen.
You're right. That is, and are you? That's not a clean boot. That's you like in,
That's coming
in
out of-
suspend
that's coming out
mode.
of
and-
suspend,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've definitely
Like, it just, like, the cursor is just fucking laggy. Like, you
Yeah.
hit the D-pad and, like, it takes a second to start moving around.
It's a lot of stuff that I always chalk up to like, well, I guess this thing's enrolled in the preview program. Maybe it's fucked
No,
up.
I'm
but
on,
like,
I'm on release dashboard.
yeah, but it's
Always.
Yeah, sometimes you push a direction on that thing and it does nothing,
Yeah.
and that's bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
Lately, a lot, I'll try to launch apps and, like, it'll button in as if it launched the app and then just sit there for, like, 10 seconds and do nothing, and then
Yep.
finally the splash
Yep.
screen will happen.
yeah, that's happened.
And then
Yeah.
it'll sit there for, like, 30 seconds, and then it'll go back to the dashboard and say, something happened, or like, you know, nondescript error message. Like, it's
Right.
just, why isn't the thing better?
They'll make another console.
The
Yes.
tech's just not there yet.
I
You want
look
a fast
forward-
dashboard, or the future.
Or
of
do you
video
want like
games.
100 ads? Come on, you only get
Yeah,
to choose one.
that's right.
Did you guys mess with new avatars?
When they were in preview program, I made a new avatar. It's
Yeah.
bad.
How's-
I mean, the avatar's bad. The system, I
Oh.
don't know. It seems fine.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't see a need for avatar stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm so not engaged with social features on either of these consoles, any of these consoles that
Yeah.
I want to make an avatar.
Yeah, I'll make one. I liked unlocking stuff for the avatar on the 360. I
Yeah.
liked games where
Yeah.
like an
I
achievement.
had my
would
Left 4 Dead
yeah,
health pack.
like unlocking like dumb helmets for your, or, like a hoodie. Or,
Yeah.
Super
that-
Meat Boy.
that was a cool idea. But like, it seemed like they didn't even take advantage of it very well back then.
Like I've got the kid's outfit from Bastion
yeah,
for my Xbox avatar, and that's cool.
I had an Optimus Prime head for
Yeah.
years.
My guy drives around a little Hydra Thunderbolt.
Okay. Like a remote control one? Is it one
Yeah.
of the? Yeah, there's a handful of those that are like call down the Halo Reach Pod or whatever it is.
All right. Justin, I was shocked last week that no one from the podcast mentioned the altercation that took place on October 8th in New Jersey at the Rock Allegiance concert.
We got into it in the after show.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. Should I finish this email?
Yeah, go for it.
Limp Bizkit frontman Fred Durst was completing his set when a member of the ICP tried to drop kick him off the stage. Shaggy, as he's known, this is Shaggy 2 Dope, I believe,
Shagland.
failed to connect his drop kick on stage and embarrassed himself. Later, the Iron Sheik tried to broker peace between the two parties. My question is, what celebrity would you like to see wrestle another celebrity?
None of them. It's David Arquette. I want to see. He's out there wrestling on the indie scene now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How old is he?
I don't know. What is it? Late 40s, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, I guess people wrestle weirdly late
Yeah,
into
totally.
life.
Yeah.
He's 47, yeah.
All right.
DDP didn't start till he was the late 30s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
No,
No celebrity wrestling?
because they're all terrible at it.
Yeah, sure.
David Arquette, at least, we get the impression that he cares.
Stephen Amell cares.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Stephen Amell. That's, yeah. He's.
I
know
want to
what?
see The Rock wrestle.
No, I was about to say, fucking, let's settle it. Forget the whole movie thing. Rock, Diesel, put him in a cage.
Oh, Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. I was
Did
like,
you say
yeah,
Diesel?
fucking Rock and Nash. Let's fucking go.
Tear his quads.
That's right. Weren't they trying to set up something like that? I feel like that was something that, not a wrestling match per se, but maybe it was. I forget. Yeah, I don't know. It's about family,
Whose family?
not the Rocks.
Whoa.
It's about money.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to sign into the actual podcast email for this last email. From James in Scotland.
But yes, we talked about the Shaggy 2 Dope and Fred Durst altercation and Shaggy 2 Dope's bad drop kick. But maybe it was a working drop kick. Maybe he wasn't trying to land it. He's just like wanted to look good, which didn't do that either.
When you go for a drop kick, you're half the time you're thinking about the landing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just screwed him up.
So,
Yeah.
But that's on the after show, which has its own podcast feed.
That's right.
It's Giant Bombcast Aftermath.
Yep.
Dig it up.
All right. James in Scotland. On last week's episode, you wanted to know what Jeremy Burge had in his frequently used emoji list. He's a friend and supplied me with the following answer. Honestly, I think it just raises more questions. This is the chief emoji officer of Emojipedia that we were talking about last week.
The CEO.
Yes. I am certain, however, that he would be only too happy to personally deal with all of your new emoji requests. So what would you like to see included in the next update?
There's too many emojis.
This
Get
is-
rid of them.
Yeah?
That's my. I want them
Yeah.
to start peeling back on emoji. I need emoji are too literal. Like there's.
You want conceptual emoji?
I want emoji to mean many things. I want each.
You want
emoji
like
to
an
mean,
eggplant, but it means something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to use it in different settings now.
Mhm.
All right, what do we
Yeah.
got?
Here is his frequently used emoji. To me, this just looks like the emojis of someone who does serious business.
Here we go. Thumbs up, kissy face, puzzle piece, hard eyes. What flag is that?
I'm not sure.
Dutch? Danish?
It's not Danish.
It's not Danish.
I want to say that the frequency goes that way. Anyway,
I think you're right.
But
Chick, purple heart, dog, lovey face. I can't see what that one is. Party horn, cat, cool guy, foot, some other bullshit. The duck's in there. That's good. You'd like to see the duck in there.
oh yeah, nice duck.
Chart going up and chart going down, both represented. Chart going up above, chart going down, which is good.
Yeah, that's good.
Business is going well over
you can
there in
see
Emojipedia.
Yeah, like to me, these are the emojis of a serious emoji-man.
What are
Like he's, there's airplanes, there's multiple documents, there's graphs up and down. He is doing emoji business. A telephone.
got any
Mhm.
good standouts in your guys' most frequently used?
I barely use them, so probably not.
No.
I use the clown a lot.
The money mouth is really high up for me.
Upside down smiley face is
Mm-hmm.
gets a lot of usage.
The British guy with the fuzzy hat. What's he called?
The
guard.
Guard.
The royal guard. Up there on mine. Stonehenge.
I got the sheep.
That's a good one.
I got the eggplant.
I got the horns on mine.
It's just because you love eggplant parmesan, right?
No, I hate eggplants.
So no requests?
I just want the cool S.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Continue my campaign to
Yeah, how
spread
does
it
that
everywhere.
How does that
Mm.
not exist? That should probably happen.
Someone probably owns the rights to it.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Mm. But that would mean they would know the origins of it. We have to find out who owns the rights to it. So
Mm.
using it in an emoji would be a way to like snuff out like who thinks they own it.
I still
to the bottom of it.
I'm still
once
not
and for all.
clear, like, what is the chain of command for, like, creating new emojis?
There's a consortium or something, and they
I had just typed emoji consortium into Google as a joke,
yeah.
but nope.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's the Unicode
Yeah,
consortium.
it's all Unicode. It's like Unicode 12 includes 5 new letters.
Right.
What emoji would I don't know. Like I'm trying to think like what emojis are specific.
What don't they have?
What don't they have? Like what are situations that are hard to create with the current tool set of emojis?
Like, what thought would you like to get across?
Yeah.
It's more so what shady things can you say through emojis that you couldn't type?
How about a mushroom cloud? Is that too grim?
You know what?
There's
I
a
want,
bomb.
I want GIF emoji. I want the hang loose emoji to actually hang loose and not just be a thumb and pinky out. That's what I want.
I feel like that would be up to the individual implementation. Like Apple could do that. If like, hey, we decided to make all our emojis animated, they could do that as long as because it just has to convey the basic concept, right?
Yeah.
And if they choose to animate it as such, that'd be on them. Speaking as an emoji expert,
Of course.
I don't know. Yeah, that's
Like, do we really need a falafel?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, because I mean, just do the taco one and then add like a Mediterranean.
Representation, Ben.
It's just too specific.
Dude, what?
We have
Falafels are so good.
3 different milks.
That is excessive.
how are they different?
One's in a bottle, one's in a glass, one's in a. Oh, that's not.
Nobody buys milk in a bottle anymore.
One of those ain't milk.
It's like a baby bottle.
Which one did Luke Skywalker drink?
There's chopsticks, and then there's chopsticks in a container. Like, come on.
That is
Well,
excessive.
one says chopsticks and one says like Chinese food.
Chow mein.
There's 2 people wrestling, and then there's 2 people wrestling in different colored shirts. 2 different mountain climbers. Like, come on.
Is there a dragon?
Yeah. Oh, there's
Yeah.
like 5.
There's a dragon.
Okay. Well, fine. How about a
Furniture.
How about a manticore?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I want emoji that like string together to form something like those Twitch emotes that are like,
So, like,
half of a person's face, and then you could put the
Oh.
other half.
Yeah.
I want a fake Super Saiyan emoji.
Like
Surprised that's
like
not there.
a power up, like charging
Yeah.
up emoji. Yeah.
That or it's like a regular dude's face, but with like the Super Saiyan hair going on.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should reach out to Mr. Burge and have a conversation.
Set something up.
Call half the emoji. Go Thanos on the emoji is my recommendation.
You want a Thanos emoji?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a Thanos car.
We could do that.
All right. That's it for emails. Thanks to everybody who wrote in. Bombcast@giantbomb.com.
I want 5 more poop emojis.
Okay.
One where he's frowning. One
I want one for each level of consistency that actual poop has on that chart, like the 7 stages.
yeah.
That's an underserved market.
Yeah.
There's always room for more of that.
Just send that to a doctor and be like, oh, fiber, son. Fiber.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the show this week.
All right.
Stay tuned if you're listening live.
That's right.
After show.
That's
coming
right.
Up.
We'll be here.
Call in.
What are you guys
Do
going
some
to...
voicemails. I've been really happy. People are getting more comfortable leaving like really incendiary takes on video games and stuff in the
Okay.
voicemail, which was kind of one of my original goals for this
Yeah.
whole show.
We want to react to terrible,
There was
and or hot takes.
There was a dude who called in last week with his theory on how Assassin's Creed is the Forrest Gump of video games, and he laid it out, and it
Makes a lot of
honestly,
sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said some really
Yeah.
brave
There's some
things.
stuff in there that I'm like, okay, I see where you're coming from.
Huh. Wait,
So-
which one?
What?
All of them. That,
Oh,
you know,
the whole
it's
series?
The whole concept is
Fumbling
you interacting,
through-
fumbling through
The whole
history,
franchise? Got it.
and
Okay.
somehow being there at every major moment in each historical period.
I would entertain that argument.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
So yeah.
So
Sure.
now, what if you go back and make an Assassin's Creed game where you literally are Forrest Gump,
Man.
and in between, like running and like meeting the president or whatever, he's murdering a lot of people.
Requiem in Pace, Mr. Nixon.
Exactly.
You meet Nixon and then
Yeah.
hidden blade him.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Lieutenant Dan is giving you your marching
Of
orders.
course.
Just some of the fun stuff you hear at the Giant Bomb
Yeah.
Aftermath.
Right. Tune
Right.
in.
Yeah.
It's on the internet.
Yeah, coming up presently. That's gonna do it for this week's podcast. Yeah, we'll have stuff
Oh yeah,
on the site
we'll fully have fucking
throughout the
stuff.
week. We have games.
That's the plan. Damn it.
to look at.
Yeah.
I believe Soul Calibur is out this week.
Yes, it is out this week.
We will take a look at that.
Yes.
And a bunch of other stuff.
Video games.
Yeah, they're happening.
And more.
Games are coming out, and we're going to play them. Talk about them.
We're gonna point a camera at these Starlink toys.
That's right.
At some point here. Yeah. All the stuff.
Yes.
All that shit, y'all.
Yep. Stay
Candy
tuned.
apples.
Yes. GiantBomb.com. All that shit, y'all. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
This podcast was brought to you in part by the Sonos Beam. Meet the Sonos Beam now. It's the smart, compact soundbar for your TV. Beam lets you play everything you love. Let's run down the things you love. Music, check. Radio, absolutely. Movies? You got it. TV? Yep. Podcasts? You love them. And more. You even love more. And it's all got rich sound that will fill your room. Super simple to set up, but if you don't even want to bother, Sonos will send someone out to do it for you. If you live in any major metropolitan area, Up and Running will have a Sonos expert deliver and set up your system absolutely free. That's right. They'll set it up for you. You don't have to mess around with it. But even if you don't, it seems like it's pretty easy to do. Head on over to Sonos.com. That's Sonos.com and select Up and Running at checkout if you qualify. How about that?